hello from me, wherever you may be listening. Welcome to our coverage of the 2010 World Cup final. Let me give you the World Cup final lineups. And first of all, and this is a sign, I think, that the Dutch knew what they were about at this tournament. Very unusually, they have 1 to 11 in their lineup. The goalkeeper is Stekelenburg of Ajax. The back four, Van der Wiel, Heitinga, Matthijssen, and the captain playing for the last time, Van Bronckhorst. Two sitting midfield players, Van Bommel and De Jong. Then probably the danger man, Robben, Sneijder, who's been scoring all the goals, Dirk Kuyt of Liverpool, and Van Persie. So two changes to the Dutch side. Van der Wiel and De Jong come back as expected after suspension. Spain named the same 11 which began the semi-final against Germany. Their lineup led by captain Casillas. The back four, Sergio Ramos, Piqué, Puyol and Capdevila. Then in front of the back four is Busquets. And then Pedro, preferred to Fernando Torres again, Xavi Alonso, Iniesta and Villa. Spain have used 9 players who've played every single game in this World Cup, 9 of the 11. So Spain have had to change their normal shirts tonight. They presumably lost the toss. They'll have to play in blue. It looks like Pedro's going to start on the right-hand side with Iniesta over on the left. Holland able to play in orange. Lots of orange seats around the stadium. It's very much an orange-free state here tonight, Johannesburg. The Dutch players are getting into a huddle. The Spanish players want to get underway here. Referee, of course, from England, Howard Webb, supported by Darren Cann and Michael Malarkey. Spain want to get underway. Holland are now ready. The World Cup final, remember, for the first time without one of the following four: Brazil, Argentina, Germany and Italy. It's the first meeting at a major tournament between Spain and Holland. It's Spain against Holland. In many ways, clockwork against orange here in Johannesburg, the city of gold, with an 18-carat gold trophy waiting for the winners. Howard Webb is waiting for the go-ahead here to get this game underway from television. And away we go for the 2010 World Cup final, the first final in Africa, in South Africa. And these two really ought to savour every moment because, of course, 4 years ago in Germany, Italy and France played in the final. Neither of them made it past the first stage. Kuyt is bustling down the left-hand side for the first time, but he can't get that. It's going to be a goal kick to Spain. Casillas to take, and here's the first word in our commentary from Chris Waddle.
Well, I've been trying to look at this game, mate, and I've got to say it's the midfield where it's going to be decided. Already I've looked at De Jong's picked Xavi up very close. Van Bommel's going to pick Alonso up, and as you see, Sneijder has got tight on Busquets. That's where the game's going to be decided. Yes, we can look at Robben. Can he get a Capdevila, who's probably the weak link of this Spain team? But it's getting the ball off this Spanish team for Holland. They're going to have to work very, very hard.
Howard Webb gives the first free kick of the final for a foul on Busquets, and Puyol's protesting. And the thing about this final, I believe if it's going to take off, then I feel Holland have to score, because if Spain score first, they nearly always win. What would be fascinating here would be to see how they would respond if the Dutch were able to go in front here. So Howard Webb gives the free kick. No nonsense. Free kick to Spain, short of the halfway line. Playing here, remember, from left to right in the first half. You're listening to Five Live's commentary on the 2010 World Cup final here in Johannesburg. Spain now getting a feel of the ball. Capdevila over on the far side. Iniesta look for Villa, and it's cleared by Sneijder, looking to play in Robben for the first time. Spain come forward though through Iniesta. Iniesta running a long way with the ball, knocked it onto Pedro. In comes the challenge from Van Bronckhorst. Holland looking to clear, they haven't got it very far. It's back into that Spanish midfield once more, and Busquets looking to link up with his Barcelona colleague, and the whistle's gone again against Holland, and another free kick given to Spain. Spain felt that they didn't get all the protection they wanted from Howard Webb in their first game, which they lost to Switzerland. Holland are back in the stadium where they started off against Denmark, and now here comes Spain down this near side of the field. Ramos of Real Madrid taking on too many Dutch players perhaps, but emerging with the ball now down this near side of the field is Pedro. Young Pedro from Barcelona. Back to Ramos. Spain have started a better side here. Ball played into the area, headed away though by Matthijssen. All the Dutch players having to come back as Busquets plays it hopefully forward and Heitinga heads it away. But already the Dutch having to get players back inside their own half as they now push forward. Van Persie doesn't control it. Holland wanted a free kick. Spain now cross the halfway line with the man who loves to carry the ball out of defence, Piqué, one of the players of the tournament. Back again to Puyol, the warrior at the back, the man who got the goal against Germany. Spain getting all of the possession early on, as we'd expect. Pedro looks to Villa, who's given offside, and it's a free kick to Holland. Ominous start though for Holland here.
Well, Holland's given quite a few free kicks away, and Howard Webb I think was going to react on one of them. He let the play go, played the advantage for Spain, but Holland haven't settled. Spain are pressing. For all they play against football, we always talk about how well they play. They work very, very hard at getting the ball back, and Holland, as we say, are going to play on the counter-attack.
If the Dutch are to profit here, they must really get Robin on the ball, and Van Persie obviously. Sneijder will try and link things. Incidentally, Sneijder's Inter Milan teammate, the great Javier Zanetti, sitting just behind us here, presumably commentating for Argentine TV. He was amazingly left out of Diego Maradona's World Cup squad, and now it's Stekelenburg in the Dutch goal. Clears downfield, looks for Kout down this near side. Spain immediately win it back again, and they thrust it forward towards Sergio Ramos, but across comes Matthijssen, and Matthijssen finds touch. It's a throw into Spain down this near side of the field. Spain 0, Holland 0 in the early stages of the 2010 World Cup final. Ball with Ramos, and Ramos has won himself a free kick just inside the halfway inside the Dutch half, a couple of yards in from the near touchline. Free kick to Spain, and this is the third free kick which Howard Webb has given them. Sergio Ramos, the fullback, is already making his way into the penalty area, and so too Puyol and Piqué. Now can Puyol do it again here for Spain? Just 4 minutes gone in the first half of the World Cup final. Standing over the ball is the magnificent Xavi, the midfield maestro from Barcelona. Free kick to Spain then. In it goes, it should be header comes in, saved by Stekelenburg, not cleared yet. The ball almost came in towards Capdevila. Stekelenburg at full stretch made the save. It was Ramos, was it? Fantastic. I think it was denied. Fantastic
save, fantastic reaction, great ball in. Ramos got a lot of power on that header. It was a great reaction save, and Piqué, who followed up, just couldn't get it in the net.
Well, Stekelenburg, who was at fault really for the Uruguayan goal in the semi-final from Forlan, but there was a terrific reflex save to deny Spain, and now here comes Spain once more, motoring through midfield. They've settled down very quickly, the European champions here. Holland have hardly had the ball. It's Busquets inside the centre circle, finding Xabi Alonso, who's playing on his left-hand side. Alonso now down the centre towards Pedro. Lovely turn from Pedro. Here comes young Pedro looking to perhaps release Ramos. He's got Villa in the penalty area. Offside again. Holland just push up in the nick of time, and Villa runs into an offside.
Well, you can see what Holland's trying to do. They're trying to put Spain under pressure, which they find it very difficult, I've got to say. Pedro's getting a lot of ball, Ramos is getting a lot of ball, and Xavi, the three midfield boys, are getting a lot of ball. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to play high. They're trying to condense it so there's no space for Spain to keep passing it as many times as they like.
Interesting to see whether Pedro and Iniesta from time to time change flanks, just to give the fullback something to think about. Holland really haven't settled into this game at all yet. They've just put the ball out of play, and it's going to be a Spanish throw on the halfway line.
Well, you've got to look at it as well, mate. Spain's beat Germany, they've beat Portugal. So, you know, is Holland as good as Germany and Portugal? So they've got nothing to fear, Spain. They've got a lot of confidence.
They won all of their knockout games, 1-0 did Spain, and Holland conceded in all of their knockout games. It's hard to see Holland here holding out for 90 minutes against Spain. They surely will have to score themselves. The ball is with Holland at the moment. Van der Wiel, who looked very nervous, I thought, in the tunnel before he came out, the young man, and another misplaced pass by Holland, and they really haven't got into their game at all yet. Throw to Spain over on the far side. This is Five Live's commentary from the World Cup final. Iniesta now trying to find Capdevila, and all De Jong can do, as we hear the vuvuzelas now for the first time around Soccer City here in Johannesburg. Throw into Spain, very much on top so far. Pedro this time doesn't control it. Van der Wiel looking for Robin, who hasn't had any kind of meaningful touch yet. It's amazing, they've just suddenly turned up the volume here at the vuvuzelas. We've had plenty of sound at this World Cup, not a lot of vision from anyone really. Very few players have inspired, but now can these two sides give us a grandstand finish? And Holland have a throw-in suddenly inside, deep inside the Spanish half. Robin gets his first meaningful touches down the right hand side, but he loses the ball. Remember, quite a few of these Dutch players have played in Spain, including Arjen Robben. Oh, mistake by Busquets. Dirk Kuyt now tries a shot, and it's straight at Casillas. Well, Busquets took his eye off the ball there and almost let Holland in after all the Spanish pressure. Holland almost sneaking in there, And now Ramos has run out of space down this near side. Careless by young Busquets. Throw to Holland.
He didn't get a shout, mate. He's obviously not got a shout. He's played it blind. Look, he thinks he can cross it. There's no word. There's no talking. Take quite for me. Snatches at the shot. Very easy save. He could have maybe had another touch.
7.5 minutes gone. Holland 0, Spain 0. Couto got the first Dutch goal in the World Cup in that game against Denmark after a Daniel Agüero goal, and here comes Kaut once more, and he's just lost the ball very comfortably. Alonso now finds Iniesta, who's come inside and into the centre circle, challenged by Van Bommel, but now Iniesta once more turns. Iniesta smoothly, or no, almost smoothly, onto Xavi, was cut out by the Manchester City man De Jong, and it's back again with Stekelenburg. The major moment so far then, Stekelenburg's terrific save to deny Sergio Ramos from a free kick from Xavi. Holland just trying to get themselves a foothold here. It's Van Bronckhorst, the captain. Another player, of course, who's played in Spain. Headed away, though, by Sergio Ramos. Spain now look to Busquets, and Busquets fires it to the far side of the field. It's nice control from Pedro. Pedro twisting and turning, and now releasing the unsung hero down that left-hand side, Capdevila. Capdevila charging forward. In it goes to Veer, but well defended there by Matthijssen. Matthijssen made that his, and now Holland looking to counter-attack. Sneijder we see for the first time, easily dispossessed though, and it's Spain with Xavi onto Veer, but the goalkeeper will get it.
Tell you what, he will get a chance, Villa. That's 3 times. What he wasn't offside, the pass was just overhit. He plays on the shoulder. They've caught him offside twice. That time he wasn't. It was just a long ball. But you've got to say Spain's pressing game is working very well. Holland haven't got any answers yet. And if you look at Pedro, Villa, they have the movement, and Iniesta, they keep swapping sides, they keep going short, they keep going inside. Very hard to pick up.
They're off the blocks here really quickly, Spain, but it's 0-0 in the World Cup final. Clearance now by Holland. Sergio Ramos against Dirk Kuyt, and that will be a throw into Spain just down below us. Bert van Marwijk is the only one of the two coaches at the moment, not surprisingly out in his technical area, because he'll want to get a few messages across, I think. So far Holland haven't settled as Puyol now scrambled. It wasn't a good ball to Puyol, and he hasn't scrambled it away too far. Now he comes in with a header, and the header goes straight back to the Dutch midfield, and it's Matthijssen now drilling the ball forward, but that was a poor pass by Matthijssen. Edgy, no real composure, and Capdevila now over on the far side will tidy up for Spain. Spain 0, Holland 0 in the World Cup final here in Johannesburg. Firm header away by Matthijssen, looking to try and find Robin. He hasn't kept it in over on the far side. Decision is given by the English official over there, Michael Malarkey, and Spain have a throw. We've already played nearly 10 minutes of the first half here. Spain very much on top, as Pedro now finds Xavi, flicks it back to Busquets, and Busquets had to do that quickly against Van Persie, and it's Piqué now for Spain, looking to slide the ball down, and Iniesta's now come across to the right hand side, but surrounded by orange from Holland, and the ball is out of play. So I think this will be typical of Del Bosque's approach tonight. He'll change over Pedro and Iniesta from time to time, and now it's Puyol once more on the edge of the centre circle inside the Spanish half. 0-0 in the World Cup final. Long head Puyol onto Pedro. Pedro skating around Van Bommel. Spain getting all of the possession. Another long ball forward looking for Veer. This time it's not been cut out by Matthijssen. Veer now to Iniesta. Iniesta onto Sergio Ramos. Danger here for Holland. Ramos in the penalty area. Still Ramos for Spain. Knocked it in and wins a corner kick off Heitinga. That could eeasily have been an own goal.
They just can't cope with the movement. Villa's playing on the shoulder. This time the pass was right. He linked it up with Iniesta. And Ramos didn't need to do a trick. I don't know what Kurt was doing back there. Never tried to win the ball at any time. And it's a terrific ball across the goal that could easily have gone in his own net.
So who are the danger men here? Probably Piqué, Puyol, Ramos. It's a short corner from Iniesta to Xavi. Xavi now looking to get this ball back into the Dutch penalty area. Eventually it's laid in by Alonso to the far post. Smashed into the side netting in the end by David Veer. Veer was there over on the far side, hit it quickly, straight into the side netting.
What a terrific cross to the far post, though. It's nice to see a short corner. They know they're not the biggest. Spain, Holland, all marked up. A little short one, a little bit of skill, a little bit of movement of the ball. A lot of orange shirts have vacated the box. And Villa, you fancy him in the form he's in to put that in the goal.
5 goals, could easily have been 6. He missed a penalty, remember, in Johannesburg. Spain played a couple of times at Ellis Park. They haven't played here, though, in Soccer City before. So we played nearly 12 minutes of the first half. It's been all Spain so far, but it's 0-0 in the World Cup final of 2010.
You'd just like to see Holland go through the midfield. They've just bypassed the midfield. Van Bommel's never touched it. Sneijder's had one kick. De Jong's just basically following Xavi around. They've got to be brave, and they've got to play in the midfield. Chris Waddle picking out the midfield, obviously, before the game, and so far that it definitely belongs to Spain. As Busquets now tries to deny Sneijder. Van Persie's touch, and this is better from Holland. Sneijder lays it to this near side to the hard-working Kuyt.
And now De Jong. This is better from Holland now, passing and moving and finding Van der Wiel, the right back, over on the far side. 0-0 here in Johannesburg. Van der Wiel look for Robin, but doesn't find him. It's well read by Capdevere, and now Pedro certainly settled brightly into this World Cup final. Xavi, here it comes again from Spain, the endless passing and moving in midfield. Piqué, so comfortable in possession, knocks the ball back to Busquets, playing at the moment Busquets as one of three centre-backs effectively. Xavi, always available, picks up possession from Busquets. Xavi just looking for the best option here, finds in the end Pedro, and now Iniesta, and it's just relentless passing and moving from Spain, looking for an opening here. Puyol made what he half thought about giving it back to his goalkeeper, but Spain keep it going forward, just keeping it on the edge of their own penalty area. And now Puyol once more, under a certain amount of pressure there from Van Bommel, and the free kick is given against the former Barcelona man on a former teammate. Spain have a free kick. Here come the vuvuzelas again.
Well, he not booked Van Bommel, does he? He never gets booked. So again, he was late, but wonderful one-touch football by Spain. As I say, Holland trying to do a job, but they forgot to play when they get the ball.
An untroubled opening for Howard Webb and his English assistants, and now Spain looking to Piqué once more, just short of the halfway line. On to Ramos, in field now, and once they get the ball, it's so difficult to get it away from them. Casillas has a touch now in the Spanish goal away to our left. Clears into the Dutch half. It should be collected, and it is by Matthijssen. Matthijssen feeds Van Bommel, and now the Everton man Heitinga with an edgy back pass really to his goalkeeper, and now it's cleared back into the Spanish half. And Percy against Piqué, mopping up once more is Busquets, and the only frustration for Spain will be that, having taken charge already in the first 15 minutes, they haven't got anything up the end of it, and we're going to have a yellow card here shown to Robin van Persie for the foul on Capdevere over on the far side. So the first yellow card of the final goes to Arsenal's Robin van Persie. I've
got to say that's not the worst challenge I've seen so far in the game, but how the challenge is just slightly off the pace of the ball, very close to it, genuine attempt. But how many times he could have booked four players, unfortunately, it's Van Persie who gets it. Just to use your phrase there, Chris, he's been very much off the pace really by his own high standards at this World Cup too, hasn't he, Robin van Persie? Yeah, I think the way Holland play though doesn't suit him. I think we heard it earlier in the show there about they don't get the ball to him early enough, and it's right, they don't pass it around to him. Schneider always likes to play it wide to Robin cuts inside and likes a shot, and Van Persie's just picking bits up. Just wondering whether Capdevere might have a problem here. He's still receiving attention. We can have a word, I think, from Graham Taylor while there's a stop in play here. Graham's not sitting with us, but we can wave to him. And Graham, give us your thoughts after 15 minutes.
Well, it's very much as you've said. Holland aren't at the game at the moment, and you've got to give great credit to Spain. They're playing their usual game. Holland looked a bit on edge from the word go, and it's to a degree it's understandable because they're not used to another side keeping the ball off them as much as Spain do, and I think they've got to gradually get into this game if they can. But really, as you've said in the opening stages, it really is all Spain.
Thank you, Graham. Capdevere's back on the pitch again. We just got a television picture there of Crown Prince Willem-Alexander, representing obviously the Netherlands, sitting alongside Queen Sofia from Spain, who, despite the fact that Spain are playing in blue, is still wearing her Rioja red scarf. And now a long ball forward from Van Bonk. That'll test Capdevere, no it won't, because he heads it away, but it's taken now by Van der Wiel. Holland 0, Spain 0 in the World Cup final. Challenge came in from Puyol on Robin, and Howard Webb, having just booked Robin van Persie, is now going to book Puyol for that lunging challenge on Arjen Robben, and a free kick to Holland, and a chance perhaps for Wesley Sneijder here.
Well, he got a chance of a good delivery. Everybody would go forward. They're very dangerous set pieces of work on them a lot. I think Puyol's very unlucky. He's played the ball for me. I think that's Robin rolling around as you expect. We know we're used to that now, but I think Howard Webb bought it. The linesman was closer than Howard Webb, never flagged. He played the ball, Puyol. He was very unlucky.
Well, we've got an interesting situation now, potentially, because Matthijssen and Heitinga, the two centre-backs who've had the work cut out so far, coping with the likes of David Veer at the other end of the field, can now try and get forward and do something here for Holland, with a free kick which presumably Sneijder is going to take charge of. Holland 0, Spain 0 in the World Cup final, but maybe a first big moment here for the Spanish defenders to cope with. Sneijder so precise with his delivery. Van Persie's on the edge of the area. Kout is there too, and Heitinga at the moment stands left edge of the penalty area. Sneijder composes himself, trying to lift Holland into the lead here. The inspirational Wesley Sneijder. Here comes his free kick, and he went all the way in the end, but Casillas held it very well. That's one of those that could easily have come out of the goalkeeper's arms as the Dutch players charged in, but Casillas holds and clears.
Well, he was unlucky. He needed it to pitch about 2 yards in front of Casillas, and I think he might have spilt it, but it didn't bounce, and he's held onto it well into his chest.
Nearly 18 minutes gone here in Johannesburg in the first half. Vieira again has been given offside. The Dutch perhaps flirting with danger though here. Vieira now has to get back behind the ball as Holland, following that free kick, hit a long one from Heitinga, and that was poorly played, but really not well defended by Sergio Ramos. The testing ball for Cap de Veer to head away. Van Bommel though can't do anything in midfield for Holland, and Spain now take possession once more. But Spain really not at the moment being put under any consistent pressure here in this game from Holland. They're managing to dictate the pace in midfield. Holland getting rare moments of possession over on the far side. Van der Wiel's running back towards his own goal and then sends it back to the man in yellow, Stekelenburg, who of course has taken over from Edwin van der Sar in this Dutch goal. Ramos against Kout, shoulder to shoulder. Ball runs out, a quiet passage of play here, and Spain will have a throw.
I think they've squeezed the game, Holland. If you look at Puel's last in Cap de Vila, last 3 balls from the back have just been long, hopeless balls down the side. Nobody's going to catch them. Holland have pressed the game a lot further up the field.
Holland now take possession just down below us, and Van Bronk, and somehow that ball stays in play. I thought it was going to go out for throw-in. Kout is struggling here against Sergio Ramos, but then does well from distance. It's played so well for his country at this World Cup. Dirk Kout running down that left-hand side particularly. Sergio Ramos will be aware of his power and pace. Ball back again once more with Stekelenburg. Maybe Holland just starting to settle down here as we move into the 20-minute mark of the game. Holland now looking to build on the edge of their own penalty area. They're starting to pass the ball around a little more effectively. Kout now, infield to Sneijder. Sneijder trying to release Van Persie down this near side, and Piqué's there with a turn and a clearance, and it almost runs to Bert van Marwijk down there, the Dutch coach, and it's a throw to Holland. And I don't know, just get the feeling here that Spain, having started with their usual stuff in midfield, not getting quite as much of the ball.
Holland's grown confidence. They've actually got belief. They're passing the ball now. I think for the first 15 minutes, 16 minutes, they forgot to play. They were just worried about what Spain were doing. Now they've relaxed. They've started to pass the ball around, and it's becoming a better game. Spain
have played 1 or 2 edgy balls as well through their own defence, and now Holland have possession once more. The World Cup final on 5 Live, and now Robin has space down that right-hand side. Iron Robin now trying to fly down that right wing. He's got Cap de Veer with him. Still Robin, and he's won himself a corner. Corner kick to Holland over on the far side. Much better from the Orange men.
Well, that's the first time we saw Robin in the game. Won it. Terrific pace down that side. He's got the beat of Cap de Veer. You can see that. Alonso doubles up, kicks it away for a corner. I think we've seen Holland look very dangerous from these corners in this tournament so far.
So corner kick to Holland over on the far side, the left-hand side. Casillas doesn't come for it. A couple of Spanish defenders there. They managed to avoid the corner with the clearance, and it comes to this near side for what will be a Holland throw-in, not too far away from the corner flag. Nearly 21 minutes gone in the first half of the World Cup final. Still Holland 0, Spain 0. Holland beginning to grow into the game. Throw to Holland taken by Van Bronckhorst, looking for Kout, headed away by Spain, and now Iniesta lifts the ball over Van Bommel, but it's smashed back in again by de Jong. There's an appeal for offside eventually given over on the far side by Michael Malarkey. Offside against Van Persie, free kick to Spain.
Yeah, Spain do get out very quickly. The ball comes back in. Van Persie's 5-6 yards offside. But you've got to say, look at Holland, how are they up the field trying to press this ball? And what's happening for Spain is the player you want to get on the ball mostly, Xavi, is not getting it.
And neither is Iniesta at the moment, because Van der Wiel's come in well down that right-hand side, the young fullback, keeping his concentration. Lovely control now from Sneijder. Sneijder tried to link up again with Van der Wiel, and Spain want to clear. Xavi's back inside his own half. Towards Iniesta. In came a challenge from Van Bommel, which really took Iniesta out completely there. And Howard Webb, that's a clear yellow card. The other two might have been marginal. But Van Bommel, who's really ridden his luck in this tournament, Howard Webb's pulling him over, and he gets an inevitable and well-deserved yellow card.
Yep, second one of the tournament. Probably should have had about 5, but he's got no excuse for this. He's just late. He's coming on Iniesta, and he's took him clear from behind to the side. Can't do it. It's a yellow card. Took his standing leg.
Well, we've already got 3 players treading on eggshells here in this final, and 3 big players too. Van Bommel and Van Persie of Holland, and Puyol of Spain, and Puyol gets the ball and finds Piqué as we move towards the halfway point of the first half. A high one from Piqué now to Iniesta over on the far side. Lovely control from the Barcelona man. Iniesta tried to find Villa, well defended by Holland, and now can they break here on a counter-attack? Snyder finding Kalp down this near side. In came Ramos. He was a bit late, I thought, as well, and Howard Webb under pressure here again to show another yellow card. But this time I don't think he's going to do it. The halfway point of the first half then. Holland starting to nudge back into the game, as now it is a yellow card for Sergio Ramos. So 2-2 yellow cards, 0-0 the score, and here's Alan Green.
Well, it was fascinating hearing Gus Hiddink on 5 Live earlier today. Thinking ahead to the game, he said Holland must leave no big gaps. But he still fancied Spain, as most of the big names from the Dutch past do. Like Cruyff, you know.
They all did.
But I think after a rather awkward opening, Holland are playing much better now. And they've got a free kick from this near side of the field. Their left. Schneider's going to take it. It was an excellent free kick he hit just moments ago from the other flank. There it goes, whipped in deep towards the far post. Out comes Casillas. Excellent catch by the Spanish captain.
Fantastic catch. Kept his eye on it.
And he drills it upfield, and Villa will be onside, but Villa can't chase quickly enough to get to the ball before it goes through to Kellenberg.
Great catch, great vision, but anything he hits straight on his pitch with a bit of pace, it skids through, goes off the pitch or goes through to the goalkeeper.
The Dutch goalkeeper belts it upfield, 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and it's behind for a goal kick. That's a waste of space.
You can't do it. It's like playing on AstroTurf. You've got to play to feet. You cannot kick long balls like that. They just skid through off the surface.
Well, we saw that in the opening game here, Chris. That was obviously the very first game of the tournament. This is game 64, and we played 24 minutes. Holland 0, Spain 0 here on 5 Live at the BBC. Casillas to take a goal kick for Spain, and that's hit through the middle. Matthijssen made rather a mess of it, but he's helped out by Van Bronckhorst, whipping it upfield. Robben chases after it. Puyol is there, and Robben goes down inevitably. Do you know something? He is a disgrace, the way he behaves. He's such an excellent player, but what a clown in his behaviour. And now Van Bommel's in there on Puyol.
Just getting a bit too many players are looking at the referee for every decision now. You just want to get on with the football, and Howard Webb referee.
Thrown on the far side. Capdevila takes it. Throws to Xavi. Back to Capdevila. Just short of the halfway line. Down the Spanish left. Into Xavi once more. Back to Puyol. Like Van Bronckhorst making his last international appearance here. Carlos Puyol. And now it's with Xavi once more. Flick to the right side. And Piqué over the halfway line. In to Pedro, who's been quiet over the last 10 or 15 minutes. Now Alonso. To Busquets. Busquets almost caught a possession there by Schneider, and then Schneider too aggressive in the challenge, and it's a free kick awarded to Spain.
He was very unlucky. Busquets loads the ball, he trods on it, he puts his foot on it, he loses it. He's not the quickest Busquets, I've got to say. And Schneider, I thought was obstructed.
I didn't think he did much wrong there, Schneider. Anyway, we'll leave it to Howard Webb. That's a poor pass by Alonso. Schneider to Robben on the far side. Robben does a little trick. Gets past Capdevila, plays it back to De Jong, who's had an excellent tournament. Now Matthijssen, the central defender for Holland. Matthijssen, poor pass, easily intercepted by Xavi. And on to Pedro down this near side. Spanish right, moving in towards the penalty area. Poor ball in from Pedro. Half cleared, Sergio Ramos is there, but it comes out of the Spanish right back, and it's a throw into Holland. It's a bit scrappy at the moment.
15 minutes, Spain were excellent, haven't they? And they've just lost the rhythm. Give Holland credit. They set deep, they were very nervous, very edgy. They've squeezed the game now, they've put them under pressure. You've got to say Holland, for all they're not creating anything, are winning the battle in midfield, which we talked about before the game.
Spain endeavouring to follow the example of West Germany back in the 70s. West Germany became champions of Europe in 72, and then world champions 2 years later when, of course, they beat Holland in the final. Thrown on the far side to Spain, and the rhythm of the game has gone. Still 0-0 here at Soccer City in Johannesburg. Throw-ins on the halfway line. It goes to Alonso. Back to Capdevila. Into Iniesta. Not heavily enough involved in the game yet, Iniesta. On to Pedro. Pedro was well marshalled there, and he actually fouled Van Bronckhorst, and it's a free kick to Holland.
Well, everybody's going into the middle of the park. Pedro's come off the touchline. Vila's in the middle. You've got Iniesta wanting to come inside all the time, stand 20-30 yards off the touchline. Just give a bit of width for 10 minutes and see if you can get a bit of joy, because it's so congested in that middle of the park.
Van der Wiel plays it across his back four to Matthijssen, who flicks it down the left touchline towards Van Bronckhorst, but it's ahead of the captain, and out it goes for a throw-in. Well, all the good football was in Mike's period. This is more like the rest of the World Cup, actually, sadly. You know, a lot of backslapping going on here in South Africa over the last week in particular, Chris. You know, saying what a marvellous World Cup, what a successful World Cup, neatly forgetting that the football has been poor generally. And that's the benchmark when you decide how good a World Cup is. Oh, no, was that De Jong?
Yeah,
or Van Bommel? De Jong's going to get yellow carded now.
Is it worse than the yellow?
Well, I don't know, but no, it's only a yellow card. I tell you, the way we're going, this is the 5th yellow card, and I don't blame Hardweb. There was only one of them I thought was slightly iffy. Certainly 4 of them were justified.
For me,
somebody's going to get sent off here.
Puel's challenge was fair in my eyes. Apart from that, he's got him right. De Jong, what was he thinking about there? Going for a ball on Alonso. He's never going to get it high.
Look at the foot.
Chest.
He actually terrible. Kicks him, high in the chest. It's shocking.
That's ridiculous. Oh, look at that.
That's a red card offence.
Well, it should be. It should be.
Oh, dear. And De Jong says sorry as if he didn't mean it. That was absolutely appalling. So we've been murdering Van Bommel in this World Cup, and De Jong deserves our vitriol here tonight. Graham Taylor, I'm going to wave to you. Are you there?
Yeah, I'll wave back, Alan. Can you see? Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that was a sending off offence. There's no doubt about it. You go with your studs up right into your opponent's chest. You're asking for a red card. Very lucky to get only a yellow one from Howard Webb there. I'm like you, with the amount of cards, yellow ones being things you're thinking there could be a sending off in the game, but the game has lost its edge, it's lost its pace. Obviously, Holland have stopped Spain dominating, but they haven't taken over the game themselves. So at the moment, it's going through a very iffy stage for me.
Alonso's off. He'll be back on shortly with a very sore chest, but it's a free kick inevitably to Spain. A few yards ahead of the centre circle. Just tapped to Xavi. And now it's with Busquets. Hardweb has the signal for Alonso to come back on. Yet now he does. And the ball is back with Piqué. 5 yellow cards. And the latest arguably should have been a straight red for Nigel de Jong. I mean, Holland started the game very aggressively. I think they conceded 3 free kicks in the first couple of minutes, and they were quite nasty challenges. Spain on the attack. It's flicked in towards Xavi, but that's well defended there by Van Bronckhorst. The ball's back with his goalkeeper.
Well, that was a little bit better by Spain. They had 7, 8, 9 passes before Xavi made a run in the box, and it was well spotted by Pedro, but went through to the goalkeeper. But no, it's the tempo is everything what you want from the game is just disappeared. And Holland have done a terrific job on containing Spain. They've hustled them. But we just want to see a little bit more football.
We've played half an hour. Morgan Freeman is almost asleep. He's amongst the crowd here. Marvellously played Nelson Mandela in Invictus, and Mandela was here about an hour before kick-off. It was fantastic seeing him. Here's Iniesta. There was another foul on Villa this time. But now Iniesta rather gives the ball away. It's Robin on the far side of the field. Robin back to Van der Wiel, and Van der Wiel plays it to his goalkeeper, and he clears it first time right-footed. Too many niggly fouls going on out there, and inevitably Hardwell will be drawn in to producing a red card. Can't see if the players carry on behaving like this that there won't be one. Holland 0, Spain 0. Good crossfield ball by Spain to Sergio Ramos. Ramos was caught there by Kuyt. It's only a free kick, not a yellow card. Kuyt complains. He's moaning at the linesman as well, but referee was right. Free kick's already taken for Spain. Sergio Ramos back to Puyol, steps away from Schneider, leaves it to Piqué. The action is in the Spanish half, inside the centre circle. Now with Puyol again.
I don't know how long Holland can keep this up, though. They're working very hard, by the way, and it's very difficult to keep chasing at this tempo.
Piqué over the halfway line to Capdevilla on the far side. Into Busquets. Busquets back to Piqué. And there's always at least 2 Spanish players available. Alonso is there, so too is Xavi. Piqué's keeping the ball for the moment, finds Iniesta instead. Back to Capdevilla. Now Alonso. Alonso now. A decisive pass forward to Iniesta. Villa, about 30 yards from goal, trying to find Pedro. Half cleared by Holland, and then Robin takes it up. Robin is tackled, foul tackled, and goes down, gets a free kick.
Yeah, Busquets, the one thing he hasn't got is any pace whatsoever. And he did obstruct Robin. I know Robin makes a meal of it.
Did you see the yell on Robin's face? Who's he kidding? Stop cheating. 32 minutes play. 0-0 here in Johannesburg in the 19th World Cup final, at the end of which we will have the 8th different winner of a World Cup. Long ball played upfield by Holland. Good catch again by Casillas.
Why doesn't he shout though? Does he shout because Puyol's going to hit it? He's right under it. He just sure if he puts his name on it, he gets out of the way.
Well, he actually barged into Puyol, hurt the veteran. Puyol's looking all the time, looking at the ball.
Where's the shout?
No, there couldn't have been one. Not clever that from otherwise an outstanding goalkeeper.
I just watched him coming out. He's never opened his mouth once.
Still only 29 years of age. 111th cap tonight. 3rd World Cup finals. He can play another 2 tournaments easily. Oh goodness! The ball was played back to him, and he stretched for it. What on earth was going on? He missed it, and I thought that's going into the net. It was a free kick, just a ball played forward by Holland, and he tapped at it. Casillas, that almost went into the net.
Well, Howard Webb saying to Van Persie, give him the ball back, which he has. But this pitch, this ball, we've seen already, the ball skids off the surface. How many tournaments did you say?
He's played 3. Do you think there's been an outstanding goalkeeper out here? Eduardo? Eduardo, the Portuguese?
Yeah,
I think Arsenal made a move for him, but too late.
Yeah, he's gone to Italy, hasn't he?
That's right. Thrown in the far side of the field to those clad in orange, Holland. Spain in navy blue tonight. The throw goes to Van Bommel. And now it's with Matthijssen. And it's not a very good game of football at the moment. Stekelenburg made an excellent early save from Sergio Ramos' header. Stekelenburg, not in any hurry, finally clears it right-footed accurately to the far side, to the young fullback Van de Wiel. Van de Wiel now to Heitinga, into Van Bommel. Van Bommel moving to the halfway line, flicking in the direction of Robin, headed away by Capdevila and by Busquets. And then they looked to be a foul, I thought, on Xavi, not given. The ball is still with Spain. And the crowd are getting frustrated as well. You can sense it.
They just cancelled each other out. Well, for all we thought Spain were going to run away with it before the game, and after 15 minutes you probably thought that was what was going to happen. But Holland have just basically got a game plan, and they've really hustled them high up the field. And I said the big problem for Holland would be in the middle of the park, and so far Holland have dealt with it very, very well.
Well, it's the commentator's fault. This is the 6th World Cup final for Mike and me, and we haven't seen a decent final yet. And we were so hopeful of this one. It can redeem itself. We've still got a long way to go. 10 minutes left in the first half, but not very good at the moment. And of course the Dutch fans shouting Netherlands. Oh no, they ain't. They shout Holland. The ball's played down the right side for Holland, and it's out off Robin for a throw into Spain. Well, an injection of style, an injection of threat, and I don't mean threat on an opponent, but threat on a goal, would help enormously. Capdevila with a throw to Iniesta. Back to Capdevila, who didn't get the ball back to Iniesta. And then, well, is that Schneider rolling down there? He gets a free kick. Too many free kicks, and it's not Hardweb's fault. He's got to give them.
He's got to give them. Oh, it's simple as that. As I said, they just cancelled each other out. Obviously, they knew what the teams were going to be before the game, so they've worked on a system, and Holland's done it very well, but they don't create anything.
Here's Robin coming down the right side and running into the penalty area, but he was always going to lose the ball. The clearance though ran to Schneider. Schneider on the far side, tight to that touchline, and then has it come back off a Spanish player? It has. It's going to be a corner off Busquets.
Well, this is the second corner they've had, and they normally work on them. They've scored a couple of goals from set pieces in this tournament, and this game desperately needs a goal.
We've got 8 minutes left in the first half to find a goal. So a corner to the Dutch, and it's played deliberately to Van Bommel. Van Bommel with a miss-hit shot, and then a complete miss-kick by Matthijssen, and the ball's behind for a goal kick. Matthijssen had a good chance there.
Well, it was more like Mike Tyson, wasn't it? That was a terrible effort by Van Bommel, though. He should be hitting the target with his ability. We're not talking, he's a centre-half, Tyson, so we'll let him out of it, we'll let him off it. But Van Bommel, well, we're corner again, but Van Bommel should hit the target.
Holland 0, Spain 0. And Spain, having dominated the opening 15 minutes overwhelmingly, well, it's now much more level. Xavi to Alonso and on to Pedro, who's got a little bit of run. Pedro sprints forward towards the penalty area, shoots wide of goal. Stekelenburg had it covered.
Well, it looks bright. I've got to say, Villa's not as effective as a centre forward, as he is playing alongside somebody who can take the burden and the weight off him. That's obviously why Leg's playing with Torres. But Pedro's looked very lively again, and that was a good effort.
This is the problem. You know, if you leave out Torres, it doesn't suit Villa. See, you know, okay, Pedro is bright, yeah, but it's negating Villa.
But the way the game's going, you could see Villa going to that left-hand side, and Torres coming on down the middle for Iniesta, who's not really got into the game at all.
No, he hasn't. A goal kick is taken short to the left for Holland, and then Matthijssen clips it upfield. Piqué heads it back for Spain, and there was a awkward challenge there by Van Bronckhorst and then by Matthijssen, but Kuyt gives the ball away. Alonso to Iniesta inside the centre circle. Good ball to the right side. Pedro takes it on his chest. He's got Villa to his right. Villa infield now to Sergio Ramos. There's no one in a real attacking position for Spain though. Alonso to Busquets. And now Iniesta. Capdevilla's down the left side. Is it going his way? I think it might do now. Puyol has it. He's not looking at the left back at the moment. Puyol 15 yards over the halfway line. Now he plays it to Capdevilla. In to Xavi. Xavi fouled inevitably by Van Bommel.
Well, it's nothing. He's not going to.
I've got to say he's been a joke in terms of his fouling during this World Cup.
Well, would he have booked him if he hadn't already given him a yellow?
I think he would have done.
Well, there you go.
6 minutes to go to half time. Holland 0, Spain 0 at Soccer City in Johannesburg. A World Cup final that's not living up to much at the moment. Xavi to take this free kick for Spain. This pushing, inevitably pushing inside the penalty. Heitinga and Puyol.
He's all over him. He's told the linesman, and Howard Webb spotted it. See what happens. I bet he still does it.
I'll be watching Xavi and watching the two in the penalty area at the same time if I can. Xavi waits. Howard Webb's in the right position now. And there's pushing and pulling inside the penalty as it's played in towards Puyol. Not a good header from Puyol, and it should be cleared to safety for Holland and is knocked towards the halfway line. Still wait for referees, linesmen to flag or whistle when all that pushing and pulling goes on. Now there's a flag because it's offside against Piqué.
Well, it was a Piqué or Villa on the far side was offside. That was a decent cross in, really. Puyol, for me, should have headed it. It's right on his head and he's missed it.
Oh, he got the one in the semi-final, didn't he? Piqué and Kuyt, you know, just pulling at each other. Mind you, I suppose that's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But defences regularly, you know, commit fouls inside the penalty area at free kicks, and they get away with it. Van Bommel to Heitinga. 5 minutes to go to half-time and 5 live. Long ball upfield, headed away by Sergio Ramos. Here's Pedro. Pedro was fouled by Van Bronckhorst, and it's a free kick to Spain.
Well, he's definitely.
I don't know what the free kick count is.
We'll see it off time.
Far too many.
But Pedro's been probably the liveliest player on the park, hasn't he? He's always trying to make something happen.
Xavi taps the free kick to Busquets, back to Xavi. Busquets once more, so essential to the fluidity of this Spanish team. And now it's Piqué over the halfway line. Oh, that was a driven pass by Piqué. Almost found the target, Xavi. Intercepted at the last moment by Holland. Alonso, he too hits a sort of Hollywood ball. He comes back to it. It's with Puyol now. And Puyol to goalkeeper Casillas. It's very quiet, the game. Very, very quiet. Not enough goal-mouth incident.
No.
A bit like the World Cup as a whole. How many good games have you seen, Chris? Less than a handful.
Yeah.
So they rave about this being such a great World Cup. Oh no, it isn't. Here's Pedro to the left side and Capdevilla. Alonso is available. Back it goes to Alonso and mishits the pass behind Xavi. Half cleared. Another high challenge that by Schneider, and surely that deserves a booking as well. Now Schneider stayed down. He may have hurt himself in making the challenge, but it could also be convenient that he's hoping that'll distract the referee.
I think it is staying down. I think you get up. As you say, he didn't want a yellow card. And will Howard will give him one because it was very late on Busquets. You know, we always see the benefit. Oh, it's terrible, that.
I mean, this is just awful. That's Schneider, and earlier De Jong.
He's got to book them.
I'm sorry, but Holland are kicking Spain here. That's what they're doing. They're kicking Spain.
Sorry, you got to book them, Howard.
No, we're still waiting. He's not producing a yellow card.
No.
Should have done. We didn't want Hardweb to be at the centre of this, but unfortunately, largely due to the Dutch tactics, which are over-aggressive, but Hardweb is central.
Rules, Alan, but you've got to book them. That's the rules. I know people saying, oh, too many yellow cards, but they're terrible fouls.
Schneider's still being spoken to by Hardweb. Anyway, it's a free kick to Spain. A little over 2 minutes left in what's become a very untidy, very scrappy, very niggly first half. Alonso's going to drive it in for 45 yards. He had the pace right, but the direction was astray.
Worth an effort. He strikes a fantastic ball to Alonso. Yeah, it's always gone well away. Terrific hit, though.
You give it a fair old belt. I mean, I don't think Holland have kicked. I know there's a foul by Pedro on Van Bommel, but no, I'm not going to ask for a yellow card for that. I don't mind Van Bommel being fouled. In all seriousness, have you seen Holland foul like this previously in the World Cup? World Cup?
Total fouls.
Total fouling. Oh, dear. It's got to be a deliberate tactic.
Yeah, it is.
It's got to be a deliberate tactic. Thoroughly nasty, unappealing. Holland 0, Spain 0. Why don't they just play football, Holland? We know they can play. If this is the only way they think they can hold off Spain or beat Spain, then it's unacceptable. And Cruyff will be averting his eyes. Here's Pedro. Lovely turn by Pedro. If he'd only got the pass right to Sergio Ramos, didn't quite get it right. Van Bronckhorst intercepts for Holland. Down the left side, Kuit's infield, so too is Van Persie. The ball runs to Van Persie. A couple of yards outside the Spanish penalty area. Van Persie's got no help at all here. First he's tackled by Sergio Ramos, and then Iniesta just shepherds the ball behind for a goal kick.
Well, Van Persie very frustrating, because really we haven't seen Holland as an attacking force at all, have we?
Well, the goal kick was taken short to Busquets. He did really well not to allow Holland to take the ball off him. Here's Pedro. A lovely chip forward to Xavi. On to Villa's return pass wasn't good, and Holland have the ball again. And we've got about 20 seconds left until half-time. Stekelenburg, the Dutch goalkeeper, with the clearance left-footed. Headed down well by Busquets, then given away by Alonso. Busquets helps out again, but Holland have the ball. It's with Robin. Robin goes down with an anguish look on his face. There's a surprise, gets a free kick.
Too many free kicks, isn't it? It's far too many. I mean, the talent what's on show, it's a shame. It's a shame.
I'm afraid it mirrors the World Cup. 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. Doesn't it?
Well, we looked at it, we thought, this is the two teams you'd like to see in the final. It's great for the advert. Both teams are brought up on passing and moving and entertaining football. And unfortunately, we haven't seen it. Hopefully the coaches will have a word. But it's a big prize at stake.
Schneider's free kick. Driven deep into Heidinger. Heidinger's headed across goal. Headed away by Puyol. Good free kick by Schneider. Still danger for Spain. It's not been cleared. Van Persie edge of the penalty area. To Robin on his left foot. Shot at goal. Casillas save. Pushed behind for a corner.
Well, he covered his near post. He would have been questions asked if that had sneaked in that near post. From the angle Robin shot at 3-4 yards just inside in your box on the lane, and it's gone through a few legs, but it shouldn't score in your post, and it's a comfortable save.
Robin to take the corner in the second minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half, headed away by Alonso. Didn't beat the first defender. Always a crime, I think, for a quality player taking a corner, and then it's played back in. Van Persie's offside. Mike Malaki in the far side of the field raises his flag. Free kick.
Well, Spain get up very, very quickly. They clear that area very, very well organised.
Are we going to have a long night here?
No, second half will be goals.
Well, let's hope that we get better football the second half. Much of the football I've had to describe in my period of commentary has actually been quite shameful. Some of the challenges from Holland in particular. Ball's inside the centre circle with Sergio Ramos. On to Xavi. Xavi flicked it towards Pedro. The linesman is flagged. Not sure whether it was a handball or a high foot. Either way, it's a free kick to Holland.
He'll have to change his whistle at half time. Well, it's worn out.
It's worn out now. The P is suffering. Free kick to be taken by Van Bronckhorst. We've already had our 2 minutes of added time. This will be the last action. If he doesn't get on with it, he won't get time to take the free kick. As soon as he hits it, a referee Hardware blows for half-time, and I'm sorry, but that was poor.
Well, I was going to say, Spain started brightly, what we expected, carrying on from the performance against Germany. First 15 minutes, had 2 half chances, great save by the goalkeeper. And then the game, Holland squeezed the game, started giving a lot of fouls, stop-start game. Spain can't get in any rhythm now. And it's really the last 20 minutes of that half, 25 minutes has been very poor standard, what we expect.
Mike and I saw a quote from a highly respected viewer of the game in England this morning in one of the South African papers. I don't know what he was thinking about, saying that it's a fantastic, great World Cup, etc., etc. Half-time in the final, Holland 0, Spain 0.
Let me give you the lineups. Holland, Stekelenburg, Van der Wiel, Heitinga, Matthijssen and Van Bronckhorst. Van Bommel and de Jong, Robben, Sneijder, Kout and Van Persie. The Spanish team, Casillas, Sergio Ramos, Piqué, Puyol and Capdevila, Busquets, Alonso, Iniesta, Xavi, Pedro and Villa. Well, behind us, a spiteful first half, really. A ragged affair. Maybe the stakes are just too high here for these two. Obviously, both of them trying to win the World Cup for the first time. Very little incident of note in that first half. Casillas actually was probably the busier of the two goalkeepers, ironically. But anyway, we're ready for the second half, and it can only get better. Spain will play in the second half in their navy blue from right to left. Remember, 5 players on yellow cards. There should be 6, but somehow Sneijder avoided getting a yellow card. And let's just hope the coaches have shaken things up at half-time. This, remember, is going around the world. It's a showpiece. It's supposed to be a spectacle. And now Kout for the first time. The ball goes to the far side of the field, and Sneijder's ball into central midfield, chested off by Van Bommel. Van Bommel now, and the ball comes to this near side of the field, and Van der Wiel. Holland lose their way on the edge of the Spanish penalty area, and Spain now look to try and get out of their own half for the first time. It's Alonso of Spain, drives the ball to the far side, and it's an obvious pass which is easily cut out by Van Bronckhorst. And now Robben cleverly flicks the ball forward. Robben hits it too long, though, towards Van Persie. Just to remind you again of those yellow cards. Van Bommel, de Jong and Van Persie of Holland. And for Spain, Puyol and Sergio Ramos. Chris?
Well, Spain obviously only know how to play one way. Quick passing football. And I just wonder if the coaches has had a word, especially the Dutch guy, and said, look, calm the tackling down. We can't play them with 10. We can't get the ball off them with 11.
Well, Iniesta, who was pretty anonymous in the first half, has now won the ball strongly and plays the ball into the edge of the penalty area, almost released Xavi, but it's Heitinga who clears deep into the Spanish half once more. Spain set off once more inside the centre circle. Carlos Puyol with a short pass to Busquets. This is 5 Live's commentary from the World Cup of 2010, the final. Another disappointing final so far, but now Villa's turned away from Matthijssen, but he shows too much of that ball to Van Bronckhorst. But Spain still have possibilities here. Ball played in towards Iniesta, and Matthijssen manages to scramble it away. Spain quicker to react, though. Busquets feeds it down the right-hand side. In comes the cross. It's won a corner kick for Spain. So Spain began the first half on top, and they've started the second half with a corner.
Well, they've started a lot brighter, didn't they? They started, but to be right, mate, they started the first half like this. Quick movement, quick passing. I'm sure he said to them, look, you've got to play a higher tempo, move the ball quicker, and a few more options than there was in the first half.
Sergio Ramos is always the first person to arrive in the penalty area in anticipation of any corner. Capdevila, and there's a lot of pushing and shoving going on there, which Howard Webb's trying to sort out. Inevitably, Van Bommel's involved, and Puyol, Sergio Ramos and Capdevila are the players at the moment in the penalty area, with, of course, David Villa lurking inside the 6-yard box. Xavi then, poised over the ball, over on the Spanish right, the far side of the field, and still there's pushing and shoving going on in the penalty area. Somebody is going to get sent off in this game if they're not careful. Corner kick to Spain, 0-0. Oh, and it almost dropped to Capdevila. It was flicked on, and Capdevila, rather like Matthijssen in the first half, couldn't get on the end of it, and Holland escape.
Well, full credit to Howard Webb there. He had a word. There wasn't as much pushing and shoving. It's a flick by Puyol, and really it's his right foot. He wanted his left eye on his left, but that was a glaring chance.
3 minutes gone in the second half. Holland 0, Spain 0. Throw into Holland, and they're taking a long time over it as well. Van der Wiel eventually hurls it down the line. The bounce of the ball beats Robin van Persie. Now it's back into central midfield, and Ramos is there, the fullback. He's just held up for a moment by Count. Ramos turns and feeds Alonso. Alonso now square ball to Iniesta. Villa's made a run into the area. Iniesta though holds. Iniesta now pushing forward. Alonso takes over. Still Spain playing it short. Now Alonso, it's very difficult for him here against Van Bommel. Goes down under the challenge, and it's a goal kick. A goal kick to Holland. But that's a little bit more enterprising from Spain.
It was a good one too. I think me and you might have beat them on that sprint there, mate. Van Bommel and Alonso, not known for their pace. Both run into each other.
Well, there are some great names from football watching this game in the stadium here tonight who would have been very disheartened, I think, by the first half. But now, can it improve as De Jong takes possession for Holland and floats a nice ball to this near side? Van der Wiel now crosses the halfway line. Holland playing in their orange from left to right. It goes into Van Persie. Little flick from Van Persie. Van der Wiel knocks it in, and Casillas sees it travel. In fact, he realised it was going wide. Didn't need to get his hand to the ball. And nobody there from Holland to try and get on the end of that. That was their problem.
That's where Dave Keats would be coming in the far post, even gambling going near. He's well outside the 18-yard box. And lovely bit of play by the young fullback.
Casillas with the clearance up to the halfway line. In goes Van Bronckhorst and doesn't quite get that one right against Sergio Ramos. And now Pedro, who started the second half over on the right-hand side. And the linesman's flagging over on the far side and given Spain a free kick. So Sergio Busquets will be 22 this coming week. Now Xavi in central midfield. Again, Spain starting the second half with the bulk of the possession in the way that they began the first half. Then Holland did get into the game, started to press and push, and now Piqué crosses the halfway line. But Holland have got everybody back inside their own half. Villa won't get that. Holland look to clear, and it's just been slammed away by Van Bronckhorst, and in the end tidied up and given to Stekelenburg, who made a terrific save early on to deny Sergio Ramos from a free kick. And now down goes Pedro looking for a free kick against Van Bronckhorst. Ball is still in over on the far side, and Holland, who haven't settled into the second half, have a throw-in.
I thought Pedro had a case there for a free kick with Van Bronckhorst. He didn't let him move. He blocked him off, but Howard Webb didn't see it.
Well, I hate to say it, even at this early stage, but this has all the makings of extra time at least, and possibly even penalties the way we're going. But Puyol gives the ball back. The crowd very quiet here in Johannesburg as Puyol now almost played into difficulty by his own goalkeeper. In fact, it wasn't great that from Casillas, and as a result of it, Puyol couldn't control it, and Holland have a throw-in. Now look to get more from Robin, surely, in this second half. Robin's throw to Van Persie doesn't reach him though, but Van Persie does well. He wins it back for Holland, and now Robin on the edge of the penalty area plays it back into central midfield. De Jong, Van Bronckhorst has made a charge forward. It's onto the unmarked Count on the edge of the area. Count, though, is smothered by two Spanish players. Still with his good strength, Count emerges with the ball and finds Robin. Arjen Robin now cutting in from this near touchline. Hits the ball towards the near post. It was never going in, I don't think. Casillas got his body behind the ball, and it's a good throw out as well now to find Ramos over on that right-hand side of the field. So, first effort in this second half from Holland, and inevitably it was Arjen Robin who forced a save from Casillas right at the end of the first half as well. Now it's Piqué, but Holland seem to have closed all the doors here, and Piqué has to play it square, still inside the Spanish half. Busquets now. Busquets gives it back to Puyol. Spain patiently building once more. Xavi approaching the halfway line. Over to the far side, and Piqué. Piqué's long ball now in towards David Villa, who will try and turn with Matthijssen. Matthijssen hasn't got it away yet. There's no Spanish player in the penalty area, though. Villa trying to win a corner kick here. Matthijssen scrambles it away from him, and Stekelenburg completes the clearance. And now Robin's gone across, has he to the left-hand side, and the ball is played into Nigel Nigel de Jong. Holland now into Van Bommel in central midfield. Now de Jong inside the centre circle, partially tackled, and in fact it was a good effort there from Spain, from David Villa. Iniesta's pass back to Pedro was too short, and now Holland, the game's suddenly just beginning here to open up, and they just can't go forward because it was well anticipated by Sergio Ramos, and back comes Spain again. This is suddenly a little bit brighter. Xavi forced a hold though, challenged by Schneider. Still Xavi inside the centre circle. Spain 0, Holland 0. Nearly 8 minutes gone in the second half of the World Cup final. Spain still inside that centre circle. Iniesta. And now on to, it's a bit slow though from Spain. Holland have got everybody back again. Xavi You can see Pedro available down the right-hand side. It doesn't go to him. Instead, it went to Sergio Ramos. But now it's a nice exchange between Sergio Ramos and Pedro. Little flick there from Pedro, looking for a free kick, and he's given on the edge of the area. Ramos won the free kick, and Howard Webb gives the free kick to Spain. Just on the edge of the area, right-hand side as we look.
It's a free kick. Van Bronckhorst put his left arm up. He's got to book him. It's deliberate. He's saying he didn't. He did. He blocked him off. And the linesman should have flagged. Howard Webb delayed it to see if anybody got on the return. He didn't, and he's given him a free kick, rightly so. And Van Bronckhorst gets booked.
Well, I don't know why Van Bommel's talking to the referee, but he is. Van Bronckhorst on his farewell appearance then for Holland, the captain of the team, gets the booking. But more importantly, perhaps for Spain, they've got a free kick here, and this could be quite a threatening position for them. Puyol, Ramos, Sergio Ramos and Piqué all in the penalty area with Iniesta. So who we got around the ball? Villa, Pedro, Xavi. Who's your money on?
Alonso's not there, is it? It's got to be Xavi who'll have to say who's going to take it, and I would think it is going to be Xavi. I wouldn't be surprised yet. He reverses this to the far post for Ramos coming in.
Free kick to Spain. 0-0 in the World Cup final. Xavi stands over the ball. He's got Capdevila and Villa with him as well, but it looks like it could be Xavi here. He may go and try and go all the way here against the Dutch goalkeeper. Xavi, and it's wide, and he did, and Chris was right. He tried to test the goalkeeper, but he couldn't get the bend on it, and it's a goal kick to Holland.
Difficult angle to get it up and over in that top corner. He's a big goalkeeper, Stillenberg. Always had it covered.
Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half. This is 5 Live at the World Cup final in Johannesburg. And it's a disappointing final between Holland and Spain. 0-0, mostly Spain at the start of the second half. That was the way it was in the first half, and then Holland did come a bit more into it. It's Van der Wiel, the young fullback, and now Van Bommel, inevitably on a yellow card in the game. Van Bommel plays it down the line to Robin, who tries a trick there, and he's lucky second time round to get past Capdevila. Arjen Robben, Van Persie's pointing. Still Arjen Robben, played it to Schneider, and he played him into difficulty. Spain will try and counter-attack now, and it's David Villa taking possession down this left-hand side. He's just held up for a moment by Heitinga. Plays the ball into midfield, and Heitinga fouled him after he'd released it. Villa's injured. The referee still plays on. Not sure if he's seen it. The game continues. Villa is injured. Now what does he do here with Heitinga? Cynical foul there by the centre-back. Not sure if he saw it or whether his assistant did. Well, Villa injured. And how did you see that?
Well, he was late, but Howard Webb was following the ball. He's going to book him just off the reaction of Villa lying on the floor. He didn't see it. Is he going to book him?
There hasn't been a replay either yet, so if he's looking for any extra help here, we haven't had a replay of the incident. Well, Heitinga is being spoken to by Howard Webb. We still haven't had a repeat of the incident. David Villa, and yellow card now shown to Heitinga. Well, they're clocking them up here now. Van Bronckhorst, Heitinga, Van Bommel, De Jong, Van Persie. Schneider also should have had a yellow card for an assault really on Busquets in the first half. So, well, I don't know. We talked all about the total football and the Dutch academy, but I mean, it's been quite cynical, their approach to this final. Puyol and Sergio Ramos have been booked, by the way, for Spain. Throw into Holland. They should give this ball back because the game stopped because Villa could receive attention. He's still off the pitch, and now Van Bommel hits it towards the corner flag down this near side. And you know, I mean,
what is that all about?
That is not sport. And in fact, they're complaining. Xavi's saying to Van Bommel, because actually Spain are in potential difficulty here with their throw-in by their own corner flag. So again, that's more gamesmanship from Holland, and Van Bommel involved in it once more. 12 minutes gone in the second half. Holland 0, Spain 0 in the World Cup final. Alonso's header on, and Villa's back in the game again. Capdevila, the left back for Spain, knocks it forward straight at the Dutch player Van der Wiel, and Howard Webb has to blow his whistle again, and this time Xavi's been penalised for the challenge, and of course the Dutch players now are rolling around to see whether Howard Webb's going to redress the balance in terms of yellow cards. Free kick to Holland though, and what can they make of it? Heitinga, I can see, already making his way towards the edge of the penalty area to join Kout and Van Persie, and it's going to be Arjen Robben. I wonder whether Robben might try a pot shot here with these balls.
Put it past him.
No, you never know, do you? Whether he might try and aim towards the near post and see whether Casillas is going to scramble. So free kick. Robben's only a couple of yards away from the ball. 0-0 in the World Cup final. Robin's high ball in. Oh, and the challenge came in over on the far side from Heitinger, but it's offside, and the free kick is given.
The flag went up very, very early, as soon as it reached the area, the danger area.
Good clearance by Spain in the meantime. Pedro, and of course we're moving towards the point now, 50 minutes into the second half, where we may be having changes in the game. It's Xavi of Spain, 0-0, finds Iniesta. Iniesta, by his standards, has been very quiet in the game so far. Xavi onto Busquets and now Alonso. Bit of movement is there down there on the bench?
Yeah, Navas is coming on.
Alonso now, onto Xavi. Xavi can't give it to Sergio Ramos wide on the right. Instead he goes down the centre, where Villa is immediately tackled by Matthijssen, and the free kick is given. Well, the Dutch approach here seems to be, if in doubt, foul.
Well, he's going to bring Navas on. Obviously, he hasn't had the best tournament. He took part early in the tournament, didn't have the best of times. Quick free kick by Xavi.
Free kick taken. Iniesta now finds Capdevila. Capdevila of Spain. Still 0-0 here in Johannesburg. Capdevila now with an opportunity to get this ball in, headed away by Matthijssen. And a poor clearance by Van der Wiel puts his team back in trouble again. But Alonso can't find Capdevila, and Holland fail to clear. And the ball is back with Spain once more. Really untidy at times here in this game from both sides. And now Robin throws himself down in the way that he does from Alonso's challenge, milking the moment. And as Chris Waddle's been saying, Navas of Sevilla is going to come on now, number 22, to win his 9th cap, and he's coming on for Pedro, so still no Fernando Torres in the game. And let's get a word from Graham Taylor. 15 minutes gone, an hour gone in the game. Graham, what's your latest thinking on the game?
It's pretty well followed on from the first half, hasn't it? I mean, certainly the Holland players are putting themselves about in football terms, and I can't see, quite honestly, Mike, this game lasting without someone being sent off.
I'm sure you're right, and that's the last thing we want, of course, having had Zidane sent off in the last World Cup final. 0-0. The ball with Holland over on the left-hand side. It's Dirk Kuyt. Kuyt looking for Van Persie. And Van Persie's header, he was off balance as he tried to head it down. Puyol just did enough there to stop him. And it's gone over for a goal kick to Spain. Nearly 16 minutes gone, 0-0.
Should have done it a bit better, Van Persie. Decent ball, nice and early for him. Puyol just leans into him slightly, but it's not the best of headers. And Piqué, is it, wants a little bit of treatment on his head.
And he's gesturing that he thought there was an elbow there as well. And there's just too much of this, I'm afraid, going on all around the pitch as the Spanish doctor is allowed on.
Something else for FIFA to debate.
Yeah. I tell you what, Chris, not an easy game for Howard Webb. The players are not helping him.
I feel sorry for him, I've got to say. He's done the best he can, but I think he's going to have to show a red card at some time.
Well, the players absolutely doing Howard Webb no favours at all here. And the one criticism I suppose you could make of him in the first half was that he surely had to show a yellow card to Sneijder and didn't, and might easily have shown a red card to De Jong, which you don't want players sent off in a World Cup final if you can help it. But of course you have to play to the rule book. And now David Villa will try and pressurise Matthijssen, and De Jong scrapes the ball away. Holland 0, Spain 0. Nearly 17 minutes gone in the second half. Ball played forward, and here's a chance now for Holland. They may go all the way, and it's a great save from Casillas in the end to deny Arjen Robben.
What a ball by Sneijder in the midfield. It dropped to him. Busquets was looking for a free kick. He hits it nice and early. What a ball through, though. Robben delayed. I thought he was going to lift it over him. Casillas, fantastic finish. He got the goal. He sent it the wrong way, but he stuck his foot out, his right foot, and it goes up for a corner.
Well, Casillas has actually made more saves in the game than Stekelenburg. He made an important one early on to deny Sergio Ramos. He's had to make 3 saves to deny Robben, but that was the best of all, and that was Robben put through, as Chris was saying, by Sneijder, and his opportunity to put Holland in front. In comes the corner kick, and now it's lifted over the bar by Holland. Robben again involved in the action. So Spain let off the hook there, and goalkeeper Casillas, veteran, 111 caps, keeps his team in the hunt here.
Well, he just stood up long enough, didn't he? He made his body, went the wrong way, but he just delayed going down that little bit early, and he just stuck his right foot out. It was a good save.
Well, it was a wake-up call as well for Spain, if ever they needed one. But despite all of the possession they've been getting, Navas looks to try and get involved for the first time, but it's out. Despite all of that, on that break, Sneijder picked his pass, and Robben, who's made such a difference to this Dutch team since he came into the World Cup, in the third game he came on as a substitute and just gave him a new dimension, and we picked him out really as being probably the major threat here, especially for Capdevila, the left back. So it's still 0-0, and we played 18 minutes of the second half, but Casillas now doing his stuff to keep the score level. Spain with Puyol looking for his goalkeeper, and Casillas will control it and clears, but it's a poor clearance from the captain. Holland will reclaim possession once more, and it goes through to their man in goals, to Kellenberg. So
Spain just can't get the passing game going. They've got no tempo about them. Give Holland credit. I know they've given a lot of fouls away, but they have stopped Spain playing.
Well, they just haven't really been able to work the magic with Xavi and Iniesta. Iniesta has been peripheral really so far, and the ball back again. That was a back pass hit with pace, and Stekelenburg managed to control it. Van Bronckhorst now to clear for Holland. Kout, that's a poor one from him. Straight to Sergio Ramos. Still 0-0 here, but Kout redeems himself and manages to get a sliding challenge in over on the far side, and Spain have a throw-in. So the one change made in this game, Del Bosque's made it, bringing on Navas to play on the right-hand side in place of Pedro. Throw to Spain, 19 minutes gone. Sergio Ramos now. Can't find Navas. It's been untidy at times here from Spain, but now Navas will chase, and will chase, and he may have a possibility here against Van Bronckhorst, who has to be careful, of course. One of the players on a yellow card. Still Navas. He's got two Dutch players with him. Nice little spin there from Sergio Ramos, but it's too many passes again from Spain. It's gone back more into central midfield now, and Xabi Alonso's under pressure and has to give it back to the halfway line, so the momentum's lost. Piqué now for Spain, releasing Capdevila down the near side. Only David Villa really ahead. Capdevila having problems here getting past Arjen Robben. Now Xavi immediately boxed in between two Dutch players, and Robben seemed to catch him, and Xavi goes down, and Spain have a free kick.
See, Van Bommel kicked the ball at him as if to say sorry, didn't mean it, but it was very annoying. I've got to see a Van Bommel.
Free kick taken short. That's the way that Spain like to do it. Keep possession, don't knock it long, don't give it away, and now Piqué drives a good ball to Navas, who controls it well over on the right hand side. Navas of Spain up against Kout. There's Van Bronckhorst there as well, and this is good play from Navas, but I think he's overrun it, and Matthijssen will just snake it away from him. They still haven't cleared it though yet, Holland. Van Bronckhorst has it charged down by Navas, and it may still be in play for Iniesta. Then it's loose from Holland, and Iniesta now for Spain just inside the penalty area into Xavi with a poor touch. Just for once there, a poor first touch from Xavi let him down.
A little bit better from Spain, a bit of tempo about them, committing bodies forward.
Holland now looking to build down the right-hand side. Arjen Robben up against Capdevila, holds off the fullback. But Van der Veel's having problems here against the Spanish defenders. And David Villa, who's back inside his own half, which is really where Spain don't want him to be, jumping for the ball. It's a very awkward bounce for all of the players, and now David Villa turns into trouble, and it's a good challenge from Van der Veel. Van Bommel prods it on, and there's good pace. Noel Van Persie's been fouled.
Another yellow.
By Capdevila, and what does he do here, Howard Webb?
Another yellow.
Another yellow? Yeah. How many is that, Chris? Eight. Not even the halfway point of the second half. We've had 8 bookings in the World Cup final. Holland have a free kick, and they've had the best chance, the best opening of this second half. Snyder's ball, Robben through, Casillas, the last line of defence, made a save. Now Robben. Again, we wonder whether he might try and go all the way with the free kick or plant it in for somebody. In goes the kick, it's a firm header away by Piqué. Van Bommel's header back in again. Spain need to regroup at the back here. Haven't cleared it yet, and the free kick is given again.
Busquets just getting sandwiched there by 2 orange shirts.
22 minutes gone in the second half. If you're just joining us on 5 Live, we haven't missed very much, to be truthful. Howard Webb, the English referee, really having to work overtime here. So many niggly fouls to sort out. 8 bookings, 5 from Holland, 3 from Spain. Holland now looking to Robben. Robben turns into trouble in that Spanish midfield. Spain struggling though to get their midfield passing going, and now Busquets lays it into Xavi. Xavi tries to turn away from Van Bommel, almost got it down the centre to David Villa. Halfway point of the second half, and here's Alan Green.
Free kick to Holland. Look, I know it's the manager's decision, Chris, but is it not stating the obvious? Take Iniesta off, bring Villa wide to the left and put Torres through the middle?
Well, I've got to say, you know, he's put Navas on, so the next one to come off, he's got to be either Villa or Iniesta, but he's got Fabregas warming up more than Torres.
Well, I'm not getting this, and Spain aren't getting it. Anyway, they're on the attack at the moment. It's played through to Villa. Villa's offside.
Bad first touch as well by Villa. He just doesn't like down the middle. He doesn't get the ball at the areas where he's not happy with his back to play. And unfortunately, when you play down the middle, the percentage, well, a big percentage of your passes are where you're back to play. He looks better coming in from the sides or playing with another striker.
It's the Green Ingham jinx. 20 years working at World Cup finals, and have we seen a decent one? No. And this promised so much and has delivered so little. Apart from the first 10-15 minutes of the outside. Still Holland 0, Spain 0. Piqué plays it upfield. Villa's first touch again wasn't great, and Matthijssen flicks the ball over the halfway line. Puyol, good header down to the far side, and Sergio Ramos into Xavi, and Xavi on the Iniesta, back to Xavi. Sergio Ramos available, but it's wide to Navas. Can he get a cross in? Navas approaching the penalty, pulls the ball in. No, mistake by the defender. Villa should have scored. I think it hit the goalkeeper, flicked over the crossbar, corner.
I think Hettinger got back, if anybody, but he should have scored. He just lifts it with his left foot. Any little bit of height on it, and it's 1-0. Terrific play by Navas on the right wing. He's looked very sharp since he's come on. He's got the pace on Broncos. He's just got to hit it. Hettinger stops it.
Bad miss by Villa.
Just lift the ball.
Could have been his 6th goal in the World Cup. Could have been a World Cup winner. Corner to Spain. Played in, headed away by Dirk Kuyt. Here's Alonso. Alonso 5 yards ahead of the centre circle. Good ball to the edge of the box. Shot driven in, saved by Stekelenburg.
And Elia's going to come on. Well, no, I don't think that of. Is taking Dirk Kuyt off?
I don't know. I just don't know who they'll take off.
There you go.
Kuyt works very hard.
It's taken.
It is Kuyt. That's a bit of a surprise.
Well, he's worked hard, but you know, he got very pacey. The game's getting a little bit stretched now, and he has got pace.
Yeah, and he is quote, more of a striker than Dirk Kuyt, the Hamburg player. We've got 20 minutes to go to redeem this 19th World Cup final. 0-0 here in Soccer City, Johannesburg. Holland against Spain. The yellow card count, for the way, is 5-3, quote, in favour of Holland, who've been excessively cynical. Total football? No. Xavi to Busquets. Busquets is captivated on the left side, but it's played into Xavi again, and Xavi running to the edge of the centre circle. Back to Alonso. On to Sergio Ramos at the far side of the field. He hurried his pass forward, got it wrong, and away come Holland. And they've got 4 players in attack here, including Van Persie. Elia would have been offside anyway had the pass found him. It didn't, and it's with Navas on the far side. Into Sergio Ramos. To Xavi. Xavi almost on the halfway line. Alonso available. It goes to Alonso. A swift pass forward to Iniesta. Iniesta now with only Villa ahead of him. So plays it back to Xavi. Xavi now towards Villa. Villa barred by Matthijssen. Ball breaks to Xavi. Xavi tried to pull it back to Iniesta. Couldn't do so. And it's through to Stekelenburg.
Xavi is starting to get a lot more of the ball, which is a concern to Holland, because when he gets the ball, he makes things happen.
Well, I'm still waiting to see if they're going to... I mean, Fabregas and Torres are both warming up for Spain. Here's Alonso in the centre circle to Villa. Villa barred by Matthijssen, keeps possession though, and then Heitinga gets across, wins the tackle, I think. He thinks he won a throw in, but he doesn't. It's going to Spain.
Well, Spain are just getting a little bit more space. Holland have come off the pace. They've obviously put a big shift in the first hour.
Actually, with typical cynicism, Heitinga clearly put the ball out of play and still claimed to throw it. Throw in taken by Capdevila. Back by Iniesta, but Capdevila is allowed it to go across the touchline, and it's out of play for a throw into Holland. 27 minutes played in the second half. The lines are open for 606, but you might have to wait a while to get on the air. 0500 909 693. It's due to start at 10 o'clock UK time, but we're heading for extra time at the moment. Iniesta almost found Navas, and he was fouled there by Heitinga, who's one of the Dutch players who's been booked Now it's a free kick in an excellent position for Spain.
Well, it is. Xavi's there. He'll fancy it again. This is a better angle for him. It was late. Slightly late. He was a bit unfortunate, to be fair.
It's the inside left position as far as Spain are concerned.
Fabregas is coming on, is it? No, it's a sub. No, not yet.
Not yet. Surely not. Villa is placing the ball. Or will it be Xavi? Will it be Sergio Ramos?
I think it'll be David Villa.
17 minutes to go. We're still waiting for the first goal of this World Cup final. The suspicion is that if we get a goal, it'll be the only goal of this World Cup final. Will it be Xavi who hits this free kick? Will it be David Villa to make him the leading scorer in the World Cup? Hard Webb retreats, and it's Xavi or Villa. It's Villa, right-footed, terrible.
Well off target. He struggled to get in the game tonight again, playing that lone striker role. And,
wrong position.
Not a good free kick at all.
Wrong position for David Villa. No matter how well Pedro has done in starting the 2 games that he's done. So, goal kick to Holland has already been taken. It's played forward. Oh, goodness, they almost got themselves in trouble there from Elia. Elia has got the ball again, and he plays it off Navas, and it's out for a Dutch throw-in. And we're reaching that period, quarter of an hour to go, and they'll get even more anxious, the two teams.
Yeah,
no mistake.
Nobody wants to make a mistake and cancels each other out. But I think Spain, the last, say, 5-10 minutes, have actually tried to get forward a lot more.
Good work by De Jong, and then Hardwell spotted a free kick. It must have been Schneider on Sergio Ramos. Well, Schneider got away with what would have been an obvious booking in the first half. Is he going to be yellow carded now?
No. He's got 3. He's got 9 leads in.
More than Van Bommel?
Well,
it's strange. Free kick taken. Sergio Ramos to Iniesta. Good free kick. Iniesta, 30 yards from goal. Navas to his right. And it's played to the speedy winger. Navas in towards Alonso. Edge of the penalty here. Back to Navas. Pulls the cross back. Villa's waiting. Left foot volley. Wide.
It just doesn't look sharp in front of goal, Villa, does it, tonight? I thought he would have brought that down there. Maybe trying to get it onto his right foot. Try a little trick.
84,490 is the attendance. I think actually the ground, when it's not swarmed by media, can hold 10,000 more than that, but that's about full. And I certainly haven't seen any empty seats, even though there were empty seats at both semi-finals, which is frankly a disgrace. Holland 0, Spain 0. 14 and a bit minutes to go before we head to extra time. Alonso just over the halfway line to Xavi, and Xavi unhappy with options further upfield, turns away, actually turns in 360 degrees, finds Villa, who's down the left side where he likes to play. Villa plays a 1-2 with Xavi. On to Xavi. Villa wants it again. Into the penalty, shoots, takes a deflection corner.
That was better played. But where the better play come from was David Villa coming out this left-hand side. He's played a lovely little give and go. He hit it with his left, good block.
You know, in the knockout stages, Spain made a habit of scoring late goals, certainly in the last 20 minutes, and we've only got 14 minutes to go now. Corner to the European champions. From the left, Xavi to take it. Obvious targets. Puyol. Oh, Sergio Ramos heads it over.
Wow, what a chance. You not get a better chance than that. That is unbelievable. Free header, nobody marking him, he just peels off the back. I think he pulls off the back of Van Bommel, who's marking him. It's a free header from 6 yards, high over the bar.
He actually closed his eyes. Anyway, that should have been 1-0. It's still 0-0 here on 5 Live. Holland and Spain in the World Cup final in Johannesburg. The last of 64 games in the 2010 World Cup. Good crossfield ball, but Van der Waal, who's had a bit of a nightmare at right back.
He's a young boy and he's learning his trade. He doesn't play every week for Ajax, you know, he's still learning, he's very young.
Allowed that to go out of play when he should have controlled it. Throw into Spain. Capdevila takes it to Iniesta. Back to Capdevila. Iniesta makes himself available. Iniesta holds off Van der Waal, and then Van Bommel wins it. His was a poor pass forward. Iniesta caught Van Bommel. Iniesta's bound to be booked here.
Van Bommel again, though.
Oh dear, it's such a touchy, disappointing game. So cynical. Van Bommel's having his say. Iniesta says, oh, it was an accident. I don't think he'll get away with it, though.
I think he may. Sneijder gets away with it. Iniesta gets away with it. There you go. It's after the ball. It's when the ball's gone. Look, Van Bommel plays the ball. There you go. As he runs past, look, he just body checks him.
Well, it should be a yellow card.
Yeah, it should be.
And he saw it hard, Webb. Sorry, hard. Look, you've had an excellent World Cup, but, you know, under a lot of pressure tonight, some of that excellence is slipping.
To be fair, it's such a hard game to referee.
8 yellow cards, and we could have had 2 or 3 more, easily. And we should have had a red card for de Jong in the first half. Heiting going to take the free kick for Holland. 12 minutes to go. On by de Jong to Sneijder, who's hustled by Busquets into an error. Here's Xavi, with Navas sprinting to his right. Villa through the middle. Villa's offside. Xavi knew it. That's why he played it to Navas. Navas approaching the penalty area. On his right foot, pulls the ball low across, but it hits Van Bronckhorst and goes behind for a corner. Right. I saw him play against Honduras. He got a lot of the ball, Navas, and didn't deliver.
He hasn't
had
the best. So that's why he hasn't been in the save for the last couple of games. But tonight he's looked very sharp.
Corner to Spain from the right. Xavi Alonso to take this one. Oh, it's not Xavi Alonso. It's Xavi who takes it. Headed away though by de Jong. And then Robben loses it. Spain pressing for a goal that probably would be the winner. Cross into the Dutch penalty area, too deep, and out of play goes for a throw.
He didn't need to put it in early, did he? There was 3 blue shirts in there for Spain, but he could have had another touch, Xavi.
Why do you think he's delaying making a further change?
I think they're on top. I think they're on top. I do think that Spain are on top now. Holland have felt the pace, and they've been pushed back. They're not winning any ball in midfield. Xavi's running the game.
Van de Wiel takes a throw in. Back to Matthijssen. Matthijssen just hits it out of play. So it's going to be a throw to Spain. Midway inside the Dutch half. Keep looking to see if there are any changes for Holland.
Yeah, there's a one for Holland now. Van der Vaart's taking his stuff off.
Is he? Right. I'm not surprised. Throw in for Spain. Capdevila to Xavi. On the Iniesta slightly miscontrolled it as he took up the pass. And it's hit away to safety for Holland.
But they're starting to look very dangerous in Spain. The movement's excellent, as I say. Xavi's getting the ball all the time now.
Less than 10 minutes to go. Xavi is the key. And then, if they can find the finish. Here's Alonso, who's looking a bit tired. Alonso down this left side, does well. Evades 2 challenges. Into Iniesta, into the penalty. Great work by Iniesta. Still going. Good tackle by Sneijder. Sneijder obviously complaining that Iniesta went down too easily, but initially it was a great move.
Oh, brilliant bit of football again. Alonso did fantastic to pick Iniesta. I thought he should have shot. Once he got inside that box, he goes past hitting out, tried to bring him, thought about it, changed his mind. Now shoot. He didn't. He's trying to beat another guy which was staying out. It was a great tackle.
Heitinger would have been off if he brought him down. He's one of those already booked, and that would have been so cynical. Hardware would have had to have reached the second yellow. Another throw into Spain. 9 minutes to go. Holland 0, Spain 0. Iniesta fouled by Robben, who appeals to the heavens that he didn't commit a foul and that it was a dive. But it's definitely a free kick according to Hardware.
Xavi's in a rush. He had to take it. Look, there you go.
Xavi takes it, plays it too low a trajectory. Headed away by Holland. Back it goes to the edge of the Dutch penalty area, and then Van Bommel gets it back to Stekelenburg, who whacks it upfield. And I think Holland are out in their feet.
Holland they are. They don't want extra time. They're struggling there. They've had the great chance with Robben on that breakaway. He should have scored, really. But apart from that, now they've got deeper and deeper.
Counting down the minutes, though. Just 8 of the regular 90 remain here. Capdevila with a throw for Spain towards Iniesta. And Iniesta holds off Van Bommel. Van Bommel actually still manages to foul him. There's a surprise. Free kick Spain. Tap to Xavi. Xavi in the halfway line. To Piqué on the far side of the field. I think Spain sent a winner. They've just got to find it. Busquets looking for Sergio Ramos, who heads it back to Navas. On to Sergio Ramos again. Great control by the fullback. And then, just as I say that, his attempted pass doesn't come off, and it's hit upfield. And they better be careful here. Robben is through. Puyol bring him down. Robben into the penalty area. Casillas punches on the ball, and Puyol's very lucky. Very, very lucky that a free kick wasn't awarded, and he would be sent off.
Robin normally goes down, didn't he? But he saw glory, he saw the goal this time, and he thought, I'm not going down. He could have even got him sent off. Good save again by Casillas. Stood up, didn't commit himself.
I'm really glad that Robin didn't go down, but if he had gone down, Puyol was off. So they've had the better chances. Amazingly, Holland. And now there's a foul on Van de Beek. Robin's complaining to Hardweb. Complaining bitterly to Hardweb.
Yellow card.
It's going to be a yellow card to Robin. That makes it 6 for Holland, 3 for Spain. We'll get the double figures soon enough.
I don't know what Robin's asking for. Is he asking him to go back and have a word with Puyol for the challenge? We played the advantage. He stayed on his feet.
Oh, he's screaming at Hardware. Nevertheless, I mean, it was a foul by Puyol. Puyol pulled him down, or could have pulled him down. Normally, Arjen Robben would have gone down. Van Persie takes the free kick, played into the Spanish penalty area, headed away well by Piqué. And then it's chipped forward to Van Persie again. Right side of the box. Tackled by Iniesta, and Iniesta puts it out of play for a throw-in, which Robben takes to Van Persie. Van Persie back to Robben, almost level with the edge of the Spanish penalty area. And he plays it all the way back into the centre circle to Van de Beek. We've got 6 minutes left for play here on 5 Live. It remains Holland 0, Spain 0. The way things are going, you can hold off making the call, but it's 0500 99 693 if you want to take part in 606, which will follow the conclusion to this World Cup final. Sergio Ramos to Alonso, and on by Busquets to Iniesta, who swings it toward the far side, overhits the ball, it's out of play beyond Navas, that might be it.
Yes,
I think Fabregas is coming on now.
That's got to be for Iniesta, is it? Or will he take Alonso off?
Who knows? Who knows? But Cesc Fabregas is definitely coming on. And Fernando Torres must be thinking, will I not have any part to play in this World Cup final? Elia chases it down the left side, but the pass was well ahead of him. It's out of play for a throw-in to Spain. Just be interesting to see which number comes up. I mean, I don't think Iniesta's had his best game.
But he can
Alonso
make
looks tired, and
he can make something happen now.
As he did a couple of minutes ago.
I think he may take Alonso off.
Holland with a throw-in. Back to De Jong. De Jong on to Schneider. Schneider quickly tackled by Sergio Ramos. Schneider goes down. It's not a free kick. It's only a throw-in. In fact, it's a throw-in to Spain. And Fabregas still receiving instruction. Hardweb unaware that Spain will want to make a change. He's looking in the general direction now. Play continues though. Inside the final 5 minutes here on 5 Live. Holland 0, Spain 0. It's been a poor World Cup final. After, frankly, in terms of its football, a poor World Cup. Let them try to tell you otherwise if they want to. And now Van Persie is fouled. And it's a free kick to Holland. And here's the change. And it's Xabi Alonso coming off, Fabregas on. Graham, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's a good substitution. You know, particularly at this stage of the game where it looks as if it's going to go into extra time. Great opportunity for Fabregas to show his manager that he should be regular choice.
Well, he sprints on Fabregas to take up a defensive position because Holland have this free kick, which Schneider's going to take. It's a long way out, but he hits free kicks brilliantly. Wesley Schneider. I think that was a shot at goal, but it hit Navas and goes out of play for a throw-in.
That was a shot at goal. That must have been 45 yards.
And Navas must have been 5 yards away when it hit him.
Well, and he certainly handballed it.
Throw in to Van Bronckhorst and Holland on the far side of the field. They're attacking Spain at the moment, the Dutch. They've attacked them in too many ways in this game for my liking. Some terrible challenges from the Dutch. Throw goes, wasted. Sergio Ramos hooks the ball up towards the halfway line. Villa's there with Matthijssen. Villa holds off Matthijssen, was fouled by Matthijssen. It's a free kick to Spain. Not taken from the right position, but Hardweb allows it. 3 minutes to go, 0-0 in Johannesburg. Fabregas, first touch on the ball, back to Puyol. Perhaps fortunate to be on the pitch. On the far side now, it's with Piqué. I hate to see Puyol sent off in his last international. Terrible after such fantastic service for his country. Xavi onto the far side and Sergio Ramos. Are we going to get a late winner here in Johannesburg and save us the pain of extra time? Sergio Ramos from Iniesta's pass again. Not a good ball from the fullback. It was meant for Puyol, but goes to Capdevila instead. Now it's with Carlos Puyol. Slowed down. Once more, Spain. Busquets to Piqué. Every Dutch player back inside the Dutch half. Busquets once more inside the centre circle. Left for Fabregas. Fabregas now to Xavi. Xavi backheels the ball to Busquets. Too slow from Spain, though. Xavi under pressure from Robben. Runs away from Robben. Then gives it to Iniesta. Inside the last 2 minutes. Iniesta powering forward. Almost ran into trouble. Ball breaks kindly for Spain. Capdevilla's cross into the penalty area. I don't know who tried to take it under control there. I think it was Navas. Didn't. And now Holland on the counter-attack. It's hit down the right side towards Robben. Robben chases after it. Doesn't keep it in play. It's a throw-in to Spain. And Robben has a go at the line.
Well, that's when they look their best on the counter-attack, Holland. They've just got everybody behind the ball and they're just trying to frustrate and hit them on the break. But they do. I'll tell you what, they've put a big shift in Holland. There's a lot of them players feeling the pace.
Throw in for Spain. Goes to Busquets. On to Iniesta. Iniesta has 2 Dutch players making a challenge, and Holland win the ball. It's with Sneijder. Van Persie must be offside. He is. Doesn't know it yet. He'll know it now. Even hit the post with a shot anyway. He knew. Free kick to Spain inside the final minute. It's frustrating. I think these have been the 2 best teams in the tournament. And then they deliver this for us.
Yeah, but you look last night, 3rd and 4th, Germany and Uruguay just go for it. Clean game, few fouls, not a lot. Both just went out to win.
Piqué still wants to win, of course, for Spain. He's over the halfway line. Then his pass is short to Xavi. Piqué again. Sergio Ramos available, but it's Xavi once more. And then a good ball to Navas down the right side. Only P is inside the penalty area for Spain at the moment. Back to Sergio Ramos. Now the cross goes in. Easily headed away by Matthijssen. 10 seconds of normal time remains. And I'm sure we're going to get at least 3-4 minutes of added time here in Johannesburg. Xavi to Fabregas. Fabregas running centrally. Running into orange shirts. It's hooked away. 1 foot was high, but I think it was a fair challenge by the Dutchman, and it's now down the right side with Van de Wiel. Van de Wiel plays it back to his goalkeeper, to Kellenberg, who squirts the clearance out of play on this near side of the field. Oh, well, it was inches in, but Robben then miscontrolled it, and it's out for a Spain throw-in. 3 minutes of added time, of which we've had 30 seconds. We're heading for extra time, folks, and of course we'll bring it to you here on 5 Live, and if we need penalties, as we did 4 years ago, we'll bring those too. And then it'll be 6:06. And we'll get home about 2 o'clock in the morning, if we're lucky. Navas flicks the ball in. Headed away by Holland. Picked up by Iniesta. Iniesta played it forward. Xavi hoped for a free kick. Didn't get it. Holland on the counter-attack here. Elia overhits the pass towards Robben on this near side. It's out for throw.
Well, that's all they're doing now, Holland. They've got basically, 4, 6, 7 players behind the ball, and they're just trying to break with Van Persie, Robben. And, they're just trying to hit the counter-attack when they can, but they're very, very tired, Holland.
Well, they'll have to play for another 30 minutes, it seems inevitable now. And Spain won't want to make any error at the back, so they'll probably be cautious in terms of how much attacking play they have in the remaining minutes, or rather seconds, of added time. But here's Fabregas to Piqué. There's no great urgency in Spain. They still like to pass it quietly in the midfield, as they do again here. Fabregas on to Xavi. Xavi miscontrolled it, cleared, runs to Busquets to Piqué. I reckon we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds of added time remaining. Xavi inside the centre circle. Xavi turns around. Elia makes no challenge. The pass goes to Busquets. Xavi once more. On to Busquets again. Back it goes to the halfway line, and Capdevila. I think Puyol wants it forward, but it's not going forward yet. Now it does. Busquets to Navas. Navas was tripped there. I think that's a free kick. Yes.
Last chance.
Spanish free kick taken quickly to Iniesta down the left side. V is in the D of the Dutch penalty area. Back it goes to Fabregas. Fabregas, good ball to Xavi. Xavi holding off Elia, but not the second challenge from De Jong. And Holland maybe have a counter-attack here. 30 seconds of added time remaining. Schneider on the far side of the field shoots from wild range. Oh, that's 50 yards. What a waste of space.
What is that? That is a bit of glory hunting last second, but you're not going to score from there against a goalkeeper of that quality.
We've had our lot, I think. 10 seconds of stoppage time remaining. What a disappointment. What a poor final. Again. This is shades of 1994 and the Rose Bowl in Pasadena in the United States, Italy and Brazil. That was 0-0 after normal time, 0-0 after extra time, went to penalties, and we're going to extra time. Your thoughts, Chris?
Well, it's been a disappointing game. I think very few chances. Been very surprised the way Holland have played. They've so many yellow cards. It's not like them normally, but that's how they think they're going to get a result. But I've got to say Holland look very tired, but still look a threat on the counter-attack. Spain are going to dominate the ball again, and I've got to say he's got to put Torres on now and get Villa wide.
Well, Robin's having another go at Hardwebb, but Hardwebb's probably saying, if you did your normal thing, Arjen, and threw yourself down, you'd have had a free kick and Puyol would be off. As it is, end of normal time, it's 0-0.
Thank you, Mark. I mean, 2 years of qualifying, 64 games here, and we've been left with a non-event. 30 more minutes. Spain will begin this first period of extra time the way they began the game, playing from left to right. Remember, they can make one more change if they want to. Holland can make two, and they'll surely need to in these extra 30 minutes. They did look very tired. We thought Van der Vaart might be coming on at one point, but he hasn't come on yet. So Howard Webb gets us underway again. 30 minutes, and if we don't get a winner, of course, for the second successive World Cup, we'll have penalties. So Puyol, Spain, and it's ironic really that over the 90 minutes, for what it's worth, really Spain the better team, but Holland had the best chances. The ball is with Xavi, and Xavi now crosses the halfway line. Xavi lays the ball onto Villa. Villa stretching in the air. Matthijssen will head the ball away, only as far as Cesc Fabregas. It took a long time to come down for Fabregas. Then Villa is tackled by De Jong. De Jong's racing towards the halfway line. This is not really his game, but he finds Robin eventually down that right-hand side of the field. 5 Live World Cup final, extra time. Arjen Robben taking on too many Spanish players. 9 bookings, 6 from Holland and 3 from Spain. So Fabregas, who came on for Alonso, and now Xavi for Spain, finding Sergio Ramos. On to Navas, who was bright when he came off of Pedro. Villa makes his way towards the penalty area. Navas going the long way round, and he's made life very awkward for himself now against Ilya and also Van Bronckhorst, and he doesn't do particularly well at all there. Doesn't get the ball in and doesn't even get a throw in. Chris?
Well, he's too direct, isn't he, at times? No, he hasn't really got a trick. He just likes to get out his feet and use pace, and at this level you've got to have a little bit more.
Cool evening now here in Johannesburg as following the throw in. Here comes Spain again with Xavi finding Iniesta. Iniesta puts his foot on the ball. He runs into Van Bommel, but he still manages to filter it through to Xavi. Xavi with the ball glued to his feet, and now Fabregas looking for maybe somebody down that left-hand side. Instead Iniesta now on to Fabregas. Fabregas going forward on the edge of the area. Tackles come in, and then a missed kick. And then in the end it's driven wide, and Spain are appealing for a penalty here. Somebody was just about to pull the trigger and went down, David Villa. Referee Howard Webb at the centre of the action again. Fabregas was hauled over as well on the edge of the area. When the ball, it was Xavi, in fact, that I think they feel was tackled and fouled from behind by Heitinga. Well,
he stopped him kicking the ball, mate, didn't he? He stuck his foot in front of him, stopped and kicked the ball, and he went over. You've seen them give in, but not tonight.
It's going to be a corner kick in the meantime. Spain and Holland having to compose themselves again in the penalty area. Xavi normally takes the corner kicks. Puyol, Sergio Ramos already there in the penalty area away to our right. It's 0-0 and we're playing extra time here in the World Cup final. Capdevia's gone forward as well. Piqué lurking on the edge of the penalty area. Xavi with a Spanish corner kick headed up in the air by one of the Dutch defenders. It's still inside the penalty area. Header on, and now Stekelenburg will come out, and Puyol's out of position. If he can throw quickly to Robin down the far side, there could be problems here for the Spanish defenders, but Robin bides his time this time. He doesn't helter-skelter forward. Robin plays it back poorly actually to Van der Veer, didn't give him any chance at all, and Spain scrambled it out for throw.
I thought Robin was going to have a run there against Fabregas, but I don't think he's got the energy.
Robin, who missed 2 openings for Holland in the second half, despite the fact that Spain were getting the bulk of the possession. Spain now with Busquets. Busquets to Navas down this near side. This is the Spanish right. The Spanish change, Navas coming on for Pedro, if you've just joined us, by the way. 3.5 minutes gone in extra time here in Johannesburg. At walking pace now is the centre-back Piqué. Fabregas, his Arsenal manager, Arsene Wenger, is working here tonight for television. Whether he'll be with Arsene Wenger and Arsenal, of course, next season, we still don't know. He's wanting to play with the man on the ball now, Xavi and Barcelona. Capdevila, again Spain getting the bulk of the ball here, but Xavi once more has to set off from inside his own half. It's Piqué, doesn't go forward, gives it back to Puyol, has to scramble to get that and then waste the ball, but it's a poor tired header by Van Bommel. Navas to Iniesta looking for Villa, who doesn't find him. Fabregas had also made a run. The ball travels through once more to Stekelenburg.
Well, you've got to say Spain look the more likely. No, there's not a lot of chances, but Spain just have that much possession. They're definitely going to create another chance or two before the end of this extra time.
Johannesburg, 10:30 in the evening now, local time here. Robin wastes that ball. He's knocked it too long for Van Persie, again, who struggled to really make an impact here. Van Persie on one side, Fabregas on the other now from Arsenal, and Spain with the ball endlessly. Busquets can't get it through to Iniesta. Van Bommel's there, and this is good play this time from Van Bommel, but the pass to Sneijder was too short, and Spain now with an opportunity. Ball played through to Fabregas, brilliant play from Iniesta. Fabregas should have scored, and it's saved by Stekelenburg's legs. What an opening there for Spain, and now as the ball goes down the other end, it's Arjen Robben on the charge for Holland. Robin now approaches the penalty area, taking too long though here for Holland. Eventually finds Sneijder, dink ball back again to Robin, he won't sit for him, and in the end he wins a corner kick. What a chance there for Cesc Fabregas, brilliantly found by Iniesta.
Well, Villa was offside. Fabregas, wonderful pass. Again, another one. If he lifts it or he squares it, I just think he should lift it. He's hit it with his left foot, not very well. He scuffed it, and it's an easy save.
That was the moment for Cesc Fabregas to score the most important goal in the history of Spanish international football. In the meantime, Holland now have a corner kick, and it's been headed over powerfully in the end by Matthijssen, I think it was, over the bar into the cameraman behind Casillas' goal, and a goal kick to Spain.
Well, he should have scored. It's come off his, more or less his shoulder rather than his head, hasn't it? It has come off his head. It's not the greatest header. Just hit the target.
You'd have backed Fabregas in that situation. He's normally a very cool customer, isn't he, in those positions. And now Spain again. Look to Sergio Ramos, who's been fouled by Ilya. And no, he hasn't. The kick's gone the other way to Holland. And it's De Jong of Holland. Van Persie's pointing. De Jong does nothing with it at all. And the ball ricochets off a Spanish defender and goes through to Casillas. We've played 6 minutes of added time.
Van Persie must get very frustrated, because every time Holland get over halfway line, all they want to do is shoot. But all they want to do is Van Bommel pulling Xavi down.
Serial fouler, Van Bommel. And by the way, I mentioned the goalkeepers here. They really have kept their teams afloat here. Stekelenburg's made a couple of vital saves. Casillas as well, denying Arjen Robben. But the finishing wasn't as cool as it should have been. But as we've been saying, enormous stakes here for these two countries. Still 0-0 in added time, halfway through first period of added time. It's Navas now for Spain. On to Xavi. He's got Iniesta in close attendance. Iniesta, though, now it goes to the left-hand side. Capdevila drives the ball in, a bit too high, though, for David Villa. But he's done well to win a corner off the defender. Corner kick to Spain. Xavi already coming across to take it.
I thought he would have hit that Capdevila with a little bit more pace, didn't he? Just hung it up to the far post, and Van Bronckhorst got back in there and headed it away.
There's a winner here in added time. Xavi with another corner kick for Spain. All the big players have gone forward. In goes the corner kick deep. Puyol stretches for it, heads it sideways, and almost hits the corner flag over on the far side. Up comes a replacement ball. Stekelenburg then to clear now for Holland.
Never getting near it. They're going to bring Van der Vaart on definitely now. Take your pick who he takes off.
Well, that would be a story, wouldn't it? If he actually made a decisive. Robin's caught offside. Well, Rafael van der Vaart, with a Spanish Christian name, of course, with a Spanish mum, from Cadiz, and if he comes on,
he's got to take Van Bommel or Sneijder off.
Plays, of course, for Real Madrid as well. So he's a gifted player, Van der Vaart, and he's fresh, and he's going to come into the Dutch midfield in a moment. It's Sergio Ramos, though, for Spain. Still, for me, look the likelier team, perhaps, Spain, to snatch this in extra time. Capdevila, again, it's slow, though, from Spain. It's back to Busquets, who doesn't hold on to it. as Rafael van der Vaart waits to come on, and now Fabregas gets away from his marker. Fierce tries downside through to Iniesta. Here's a chance for Spain. Iniesta goes a long way round. Cross comes the defender to close him down. Iniesta, the ball seemed to be glued to his boot there. Why on earth he didn't strike it forward, and the chance is wasted.
Why didn't he just shoot his left foot? Villa's on the left, he could have rolled him in as well. It's very difficult in them situations. His head down, he didn't need that extra touch, he should have hit it.
But Chris, Iniesta, Xavi and Fabregas are carving Holland open at times here now in this extra time.
Yeah, because Holland are very tired. Sneijder, Van Bommel, I can't believe he took Van Bommel off. He's took De Jong off. For me, I would have left him on.
So Van Bommel, De Jong, one of the players on a yellow card. Who was the one, of course, lucky not to be sent off really in the first half. And so Rafael van der Vaart, what a story this would be now if he beat his Real Madrid colleague Iker Casillas in the Spanish goal here for Holland. He'll sit in midfield alongside Van Bommel, Sneijder ahead of them as the clearance is made by Stekelenburg. Van Persie jumps with Puyol. The ball is over on the far side. Robin doesn't get it first time, but now he might. He's still a handful, of course, for these Spanish defenders. Robin, though, running towards the corner flag. He's going to turn with Busquets, who's following him all the way, and Robin does well to win a throw-in 5 or 6 yards from the corner flag. We've played nearly 10 minutes of added time. We do not want a penalty shootout. Thank you very much. After all the labours over 2 years, it's Van Persie now of Holland. He's got too many Spanish players around him, and now Fabregas clears. He plays Xavi actually into trouble there against Van der Vaart, but Xavi's a good enough player to get out of difficulty. Now it's hit long towards, very optimistically towards David Villa, headed back by Heitinga, and now it's Mark van Bommel down the Dutch right, looking to try and release Van Persie, only finds Casillas, and he busily comes out of his goal, runs towards the edge of the penalty area. It's smoothly brought down by Fabregas, and now Villa finds Navas. Fabregas has made a run. Navas shoots! Oh, and how on earth did that not go in?
Corner.
It hits the goalkeeper and then billows aside netting and goes for a corner.
Did that not come off the defender? Did it hit the goalkeeper's legs? I thought it was a deflection. I think it's a deflection. Navas, he backs off Van Bronckhorst far too far. It comes off Van Bronckhorst.
It was off the defender, Chris, you're right. And another corner kick to Spain, taken by Xavi. It's too high again to the far post, and nobody's even going to bother to chase that ball to the far side. It did. It clipped off the defender, went into the side netting. That was why it was a corner kick, and Holland now have a throw-in over on the far side. Van der Wiel to take. We've moved into the last 5 minutes of this first period of extra time. It is still Holland 0, Spain 0 in this 2010 World Cup final, as Van Bommel just humps the ball into the Spanish half. Piqué's there with a header, and now Capdevila over on the Spanish left-hand side. Capdevilla's ball, Villa is given offside. Will we see Fernando Torres here in this game?
It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't look like it, does it? Torres, remember, they can make one more change if they want to, and now it's Van Bommel, and Sneijder links with Van der Vaart, and Van der Vaart with pace finds Robin down the Dutch right. Robin now coming in from that far touchline. He's been tackled low by Iniesta. Iniesta does really well, plays the ball through Robin's legs. Christian Waddle enjoyed that, and now it's Cesc Fabregas of Spain. Fabregas just looks left, looks right, and then drops the ball back to Busquets and Iniesta, who's suddenly looking a bit brighter, actually. He was anonymous in the first half, but and he had a great chance in this added time to give Spain the lead. Xavi now onto Navas. Navas pushed back a bit by Van Bronckhorst. Spain keep possession inside their own half, and we have about 3 minutes to go in this first period of added time. Spain again on the halfway line. Fabregas' ball to Busquets was too short, and the ball breaks now again to Robin. Double marked once again down that right-hand side for Holland. Robin checks. He's got Busquets and Capdevila there. Plays the ball back, and here's a chance for Holland to get the ball into the... Now they keep it short, and there was nobody in the penalty area anyway. That's been a problem for them tonight, as Spain tidy up over on the far side, and we're going to have a throw into Holland on the halfway line. Everybody waiting here, patiently. Royalty here. And what a desperate affair it's been, really. 0-0, and we've played 90 minutes, and we've played almost an extra 15, and another free kick given by referee Howard Webb, this time to Spain. Fabregas touches the ball off to Xavi. Xavi always wants possession. Xavi now for Piqué. Villa is a sole isolated figure, downfield for Spain. Spain at the moment, though, keeping it short. Nice close control from Fabregas. Iniesta's just in front of him. Fabregas runs a long way. Still Fabregas hits it wide.
Well, you see that more of a, I think it's like you see it Arsenal, isn't it? When he picks it up and starts running with it, ball seems to stick to his feet. Change of direction, snapshot. Goalkeeper would have had it anyway, but it was a couple of yards wide.
Well, his name could have been absolutely lit up in lights tomorrow in Spain. Fabregas missing the opportunity in this first period to put Spain in front, which is actually on the balance of play, despite the fact that the Dutch have had great chances. Spain going in front would be precisely what they deserve, because the Dutch attitude has been pretty cynical. Now Van Persie turns well. Ilya has hardly had any of the ball at all. Ilya now. Van der Vaart is calling for it. Ilya still taking too long, you suspect, here for Holland. He slams the ball straight at Sergio Ramos, and now Navas tries to bring the ball out, but Ilya recovers well. So now the ball's out of play for a Dutch throw-in. Ilya hasn't really made any headway at all against Sergio Ramos. We have about 40 seconds of time to go in this first period, and Holland are going to make another change.
Van Bronckhorst's coming off,
and Braafheit's coming on, the Bayern Munich player who had a loan spell at Celtic, so he's going to play at left back. Perhaps Van Bronckhorst has got a problem. It may be a change that they might not have wanted to make particularly. So Braafheit to come on and play at left back for Holland, and his first contribution will be to take a throw. Throw into Holland, 0-0 as we approach the halfway point of added time. Penalties loom. Ilya looking for Braafheit. Xavi tidies up. Howard Webb's looked at his watch already. 1 minute of added time as the ball now is laid forward towards Navas, and Matthijssen steers it to safety from Holland's point of view. So we are playing another 50 seconds of added time at the end of this first period of extra time here in Johannesburg. What a disappointing finale to the World Cup. Still waiting for a goal between Holland and Spain. It's now Sergio Ramos galloping forward for Spain. Seemed to show too much of that though to Sneijder. Braafheit will clear. There's only Van Persie downfield, and Piqué's there with a volley clearance, slightly scuffed towards Bert van Marwijk and Frank de Boer down there. And Holland have a throw-in, and we have just seconds to go at the end of this first period. Remember, 15 more minutes with Alan Green, and if we don't get a goal, we'll have another penalty shootout to decide a World Cup final like we had in '94, and of course like we had in the last World Cup as well. It's now Busquets of Spain. Busquets plays the ball towards Fabregas inside the centre circle. Iniesta with a flick. Lovely flick too. Fabregas drove the ball down that left-hand side towards David Villa. Holland clear. That is the end of the first period of added time. And we are still nowhere near knowing whether Spain or Holland are going to win the World Cup for the first time. It is still 0-0.
Torres is coming on for Spain for the last 15 minutes. When for the most part, as he was warming up over the last half an hour, I've got to say he looked almost disinterested. But Fernando Torres, I think having strapped up his right knee, will come on. And who will he replace?
David Villa.
Villa. Right. Interesting. Score of the only goal in Vienna 2 years ago. Is it made for Fernando Torres here in the last 15 minutes of extra time in Johannesburg on a more important occasion, the World Cup final? Holland all in orange will kick us off for the remaining 15 minutes, and Torres just obviously slots into the position that Villa has played uncomfortably, it's got to be said, during normal time and the first period of extra time. Torres slipped there. Oh no,
he did. Hettinger blocked him off on the back pass.
Again, is it just obvious to us, but not to Del Bosque, that Villa does not like playing through the middle? Anyway, he's made the change now, the Spanish manager. Holland are on the attack. Van Persie, they're beaten in the air by Puyol. And Fabregas, who really should have scored, picks out Iniesta. Iniesta just over the halfway line. Finds Fabregas again. Fabregas has nobody to his left, so he turns, gives it to Iniesta again. Torres ahead of him. Torres takes it up. Heitinga gets in a challenge, puts it out of play for a throw-in. He doesn't look fit, Torres. He looks heavy to me.
I think he's done right. He's done right just giving him a period of the game.
You certainly want him on for a penalty kick. But man, you want Villa on for a penalty kick too. Here's Xavi. Xavi 30 yards out, deep cross towards the far side, brilliant header back, if it was meant by Bruffel. Do you think he meant it?
He's running the other way, it's hit him on the back of the head. He wasn't even looking at the ball.
Well, it looked good from this distance. Anyway, Holland nil, Spain nil. You've got to have a laugh if you're not being entertained otherwise with the football. Here's Xavi. Xavi, just left of the centre circle, running away from Van de Waal. And Xavi still has the ball. On to Iniesta. Very central. Iniesta was tackled, but fairly challenged by Van der Vaart. Hardweb was close by. Here's Schneider. Hits it to the left side. Just kept in play by Elia. Back now to Matthijssen. Matthijssen, centre of the Dutch half. Flicks it towards the right side. And it's now with the right back. Van der Waal. Up to the halfway line. Then he checks and he plays it back. They're already thinking of penalty kicks. You sense it. Van Bommel to Van der Vaart. On to Schneider. Elia on the far side. Van Persie hopes, prays for a cross. Elia's got in a good position. Then he pulls the cross back. Not before the ball had crossed the byline. That was poor.
Well, he's had time to get it in. Look, he's waiting and waiting and waiting. Just get your foot wrapped round it, and he's let it go out of play.
Very poor. Typical of the game, unfortunately. Well, they've all made their changes now. No further change can be made. And we are 12 and a half minutes away from penalty kicks for the third time in the last five World Cup finals. It's a deeply unsatisfactory way to win a World Cup, even if Fabio Cannavaro might disagree. Ball's out of play on this near side of the field for a throw into Spain. Capdevila waits to take it, waits for some movement, finds Xavi, back to Capdevila, and Capdevila trying to run off the right back. He still has the ball down the left side for Spain. Capdevila, then he falls over, fairly challenged, no free kick, and is played upfield towards Robin, who complains he was fouled by Xavi. Not like Arjen to complain. Here's Fabregas to Sergio Ramos. Sergio Ramos back to Fabregas, edge of the centre circle, forward to Iniesta, nice flick to Xavi, back towards Iniesta, brought down by Heidegger.
He's got to go.
That's going to be a red card.
He's got to go.
Second yellow card, Heidegger will be off.
He's got to go.
Yes, he's off.
Van Bommel's telling it it's not. It's blatant, got to go. Iniesta was too quick thinking, not as much pace, just too quick for him. A little 1-2 with Xavi, and he was in. He has to go.
It was great work between Xavi and Iniesta.
Fantastic.
And I've got to say, finding a Dutch red card tonight doesn't make me feel guilty. I think they've been appalling the way they've approached.
Well, he's in.
Look,
he has. He's pulled him back. He's got to go. It's a great 1-2. Great movement. There you are. He's on the back of him. And then he's let go.
So the free kick to Spain. And they can doubly punish Holland now if this is converted into a goal.
So Van Bommel will probably go to centre half. Sneijder will have to play alongside Van der Vaart in the centre midfield.
We've got a little over 10 minutes of extra time remaining in Johannesburg. It's been a woeful final. Spain won't care, though, if they win it. And the free kick is a yard from the D of the Dutch penalty area. Xavi with the responsibility. The wall's back 10 yards. Hardweb retreats. Behind Xavi now. The little man with the responsibility. Here he comes. Right-footed over the crossbar.
Very difficult to get it up and down at that distance. Now, a big wall there. Holland put all the big guys in it. The only way you're going to hit that is with power where the goalkeeper's standing. To get it up and over with a bit of pace, very difficult skill.
10 minutes to go. A man advantage for Spain now. Graham Taylor, quick thought from you.
Well, with that sending off, it was a yellow card. He got it in, and it got to go. It had to become the red card, as far as I was concerned. Gives Spain that little bit of advantage now, and perhaps we may find a last gasp winner.
Well, we'll see. Here's Piqué moving forward. Torres is down the left side. Piqué plays it first to Iniesta. Iniesta holds off the challenge. Back to Fabregas. On to Iniesta again. Iniesta was brought down there by Van der Vaart. Now, he's going to be yellow carded, but not for the second time tonight. So they've only had 8 yellow cards in total, Holland now. 2 of them for Heidegger. What does that say?
Hardweb's got more bookings than Bruce Forsyth, I think.
Yeah. Well, it's shocking. It really is appalling. Xavi with a free kick, but this is not a shooting position really.
Good area though. There's a big gap just inside that penalty spot, 5 yards to the right.
Puyol, Sergio Ramos, there it goes in. Good punch clear by the goalkeeper. Navas from a long way out, terrible. High and wide the shot. I think he
didn't need to shoot. He didn't. It was a great delivery, and goalkeeper punches it away. Navas got time to get it down, and they could have played again. They've got to really move the ball now, Spain. They like to do it anyway, but this Dutch team, they've got to move it quickly, and they've got to use the extra man.
Can they get a chance created for Fernando Torres? You think of the opportunities that Iniesta had and Fabregas had, and you know, Villa as well. You'd have bet on Torres taking one of those. He may not get a chance. Anyway, Spain will try to provide him with one. Sergio Ramos to Torres, whose first touch was awful, lamentable. And Holland play the ball back to their goalkeeper, Stekelenburg, who will have a vital role to play, assuming there is no goal in the next 8 minutes. Heading for penalties. And Holland just happy for the ball to go out of play. For a throw-in. I mean, down to 10 men, they already looked exhausted, Chris.
Well, they did. They looked very tired after about 65, 70 minutes, didn't they? They're just clearing the lanes. They're just getting the ball away from the goal and hoping somebody can do a bit, i.e. Robin, he's offside, well offside, or Van Persie can just do some bit of magic and make it...
Robin should be off now.
Yeah.
Robin's already been booked. He quite deliberately kicked the ball away. Far too soft, Hardware, if you don't send him off. Far too soft. He knew exactly what he was doing there, Robin. He was wasting time. He was clearly offside. He's a lucky boy.
Well, Xavi's not happy. Look, he's saying to him, what's the rules?
You can't change the rules in the middle of the game like that. It's a clear yellow card offence. Here's Torres on the attack for Spain, down the left side. Beats one defender, not very convincingly. In fact, he had to foul the defender, and it's a free kick to Holland. Is there any excuse whatsoever for not sending Robin off?
Well, fear factor, criticism.
No. Free kick. We didn't want to be talking about the referee tonight, except to praise Hardwell. He's had a difficult game, there's no question about that. Mostly the responsibility of Holland and their approach. But, you know, we've had one red card, and I reckon we should have had 2 others. Robin should have been sent off, and De Jong, straight red card offence in the first half. Now there's a free kick to Holland in a very central position. 37, 38 yards from goal.
Well, Sneijder's grabbed the ball. Van Persie's there, Van der Vaart's there. Robin's coming across to look at it, but I think Sneijder will get the say on this, and I'm sure he's the one who's going to strike this at the goal.
Well, Casillas has made some very good saves tonight to deny Holland, who, though Spain have been a better side, have arguably had the better chances, the Dutch. Sneijder, it's very central. How many players in that Spanish wall? I think you count 5.
Yep.
Well, Van der Vaart's close to the ball as well. Schneider's run-up doesn't appear to be that long. I don't think the Spanish wall is back for 10 yards or anywhere near it. It's not, you know.
It's nowhere near 10 yards.
No, it's not.
They're coming forward even further again.
Yep. Sneijder waits. Sneijder eventually shoots. Takes a deflection wide. Corner.
Yeah, Casillas would have had it as well. Look, he's not happy with
he's
the wall.
given a goal kick.
Oh no, it's come off Fabregas.
Oh no, sorry. Hard, you're losing it. You are losing it. 5 minutes to go here on 5 Live. 5 minutes of extra time, and then there'll be penalties. And eventually, sometime in the early hours, you'll be able to ring me on 606 0500 909 693. Aliyah on the far side for Holland, down to 10 men, hiding a send-off for a second yellow card. Back it goes to Van der Vaart. Van Persie trying to stay on side. Aliyah on the far side of the field. The Dutch left, teasing Sergio Ramos, running at Sergio Ramos, running between 2 Spanish players, went down, didn't get a free kick, and it's taken away by Navas, even though there was an attempt to pull him down. Navas has run over the halfway line. He's still running, Navas. Ball breaks to Iniesta, back heels into Fabregas, poor pass by Fabregas, somehow goes to Navas. Torres looks laboured, crosses towards the edge of the penalty area. Fabregas picks it up. Here's Iniesta. He can win it. He has won it. Iniesta has won the World Cup for Spain. Justice is done. Deep into extra time. 4 minutes left. and Iniesta, who's had a poor game, makes up for it. It's Spain 1, Holland 0, and Spain are world champions as well as European champions.
He's been excellent in the extra time though. Iniesta, space has occurred. He's been most likely. They're all at the linesman now about being offside. They're claiming a free kick in the bottom half on Ilya, but Iniesta don't care. It's the first touch which popped up, but give him credit on the volley. Fantastic control to hit it down into the ground, into the bottom corner.
Matt Tyson's going to get booked here for dissent. I'm actually losing count of the number of yellow cards.
I've got to get another pen.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yellow cards for Holland, 2 of which for the hiding gap. We're seeing a replay of the incident now. It was very tight, you know.
Not this one.
Not the one that led to the goal from Fabregas's pass. Iniesta was onside, right foot volley.
It's a great finish. He'll get a yellow card as well. He took his shirt off, if Howard Webb noticed. He's just put it back on now, and there's a yellow card coming out of the pocket. Is this a world record? This? I need a new pen.
It's not funny, actually, is it?
Get the Guinness book on the board.
Right. We've had 12 yellow cards in a World Cup final.
Unbelievable.
Sorry, hold on. I miscounted. We've actually had 13.
All right.
13 yellow cards. I forgot about the 2 for
some.
Am I being harsh on Holland?
What will there be new rules after this competition, do you think?
Referees must always carry 3 pens at least.
We'll not have any referees in the next final.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how his performance will be viewed in Spain.
Say a minute.
You know.
2 minutes?
No, we've still got 2 minutes to go. A long-range shot by Holland, who are absolutely desperate now. And you know something? They'll be so frustrated, the Dutch. You can see somebody else losing it.
Robbins
and a second yellow card.
They're saying that was a corner, the kick-off. Snyder said as he took the kick-off, it's deflected off for somebody.
Right. Goal kick after a dramatic couple of minutes. A bit like the quarterfinals, you know. We had drama in the quarterfinals, but when you look at it coldly, how much good football do we have? Not a lot. How much good football have we had in this World Cup?
Offside.
Not a lot.
He's not.
It's not over yet. Ilya down the left side. Isn't he quick?
Very.
And almost won a corner. Clever play to deny him in the end by Busquets. And then Sergio Ramos plays it to Navas. And Navas, I think, has won a throw, and he has. And we're a minute and a bit away from the end of extra time.
Howard Webb better run straight off, because I think he'll be surrounded by orange.
Right. Spain is slowing it down. We got a throw in the far side of the field. It's deeply unsatisfying, isn't it, though, as a game of football. The only thing I can say is that the best team in the world over the last 2 years will become world champions.
Well, this game will not be remembered for anything.
No. Another free kick to Spain. Puyol's complaining about the challenge that led to the free kick. I think Schneider was guilty. Schneider hasn't been booked, despite that appalling challenge in the first half. And another incident in the second half. And Spain are just slowing everything down. Well, I feel quite sorry for Stekelenburg, the Dutch goalkeeper. He's had a really good game, actually, despite his error in the semi-final. Free kick to Spain. 10 seconds of extra time remain, though there'll be time added on. 2 minutes of added time being added on. It was play towards Torres, who's actually made no impact at all since coming on as substitute.
I think the manager got it right, not playing him. He's not fit.
He's not fit. Throw into Holland. Goes back to Van Bommel. Van Bommel clears it upfield. Intercepted by Busquets. Here's Xavi.
Xavi will get a yellow now. Xavi will get a yellow.
Look at this.
Yeah, another one. Put that on your list.
Xavi.
Yeah,
yellow card.
There's another
so
one.
we're up to 14. It's ridiculous. 14 yellow cards.
Yeah, keep it going.
And a red, of course.
Blatter's done a runner now.
Stekelenburg takes the free kick into added time at the end of extra time. Holland down to 10 men. A goal down to Spain. It's played in towards Van Persie. Puyol with a header clear. Schneider snuffed the pass to the left side, to the right side, to Robin. Robin's cross in. Headed clear by Piqué and put out of play by Spain for a throw into Holland.
Holland through everything forward now. Everything forward. This is coming in. Long throw.
Robin launches the ball into the Spanish penalty area. Puyol should be able to clear it. Puyol just snaps it out of play for a throw in.
Again, Robin again.
He springs forward a couple of yards. There it goes into the penalty area again. Headed down and lashed upfield by Capdevila. Torres is after it. I don't think Torres is fit. In fact, Torres is just pulled up. And is that a groin or hamstring?
Hamstring by the looks of it. He's not happy, look.
Torres is lying down. We're into the last 30 seconds of added time, of extra time. Everyone off the Spanish bench. It's 10 men against 10 now because Torres is out of the game. Robin dived as usual, trying to win a free kick. Didn't get it. Spain lashed the ball out of play, and Torres will receive treatment, surely.
Yeah. Well, he's gone. He's got to get off.
Yeah, well, he can't get off.
I wonder if it's his knee. It's his calf or his knee. You know, sometimes when you're carrying a bit of an injury, Alan, you compensate on other parts of your body and you put strain on other muscles, and that just looks like strain on a hamstring or a calf.
I think I can safely say that, you know, sometime over the next 20 minutes or so, I will be presenting 606. 0500 909 693. Iniesta's goal has spared us penalties. Torres leaves the field after end of a World Cup winner, but it's been a terribly sad World Cup for Fernando Torres. He's injured again. So it's 10 men against 10 men because Spain can't have any more substitutes. Here's an opportunity for Holland. Ball in the Spanish penalty area, but it's allowed to run behind for a goal kick. And we've had our 2 minutes and more of added time. There's the final whistle. The World Cup goes to Spain.
Well, I've got to say, it's been a terrible final. Howard Webb, difficult job. I really feel sorry for him. Should have sent a couple more off, and he's booked 14. But I've got to say, Spain tried to play football the right way. I don't know what the game plans were, Holland. They've obviously tried to unsettle them. They've been very they're surrounding the referee now, which they're not going to get any points for that, or they're not going to get any rewards for that. And you've got to say Spain were the better side, even though it was a scrappy final. Despite
the chances that they had, Holland, they were tonight the antithesis, if I can say that, of total football, and they will bring shame to Johan Cruyff. Spain are world champions. They've beaten Holland 1-0.